How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. We're gonna get into everything here in just a minute. Had a couple of little technical hang-ups tonight for whatever reason. I don't know why that seems to be a common theme for me, but that one, this one I had no idea what was even causing it, so I just had to kind of do a workaround for it. But we seem to be in business now. Everything seems to be at least working on the YouTube side, so yeah. Okay, Rev. Anyways, so let's see who we got. Aether, how's it going? Beans, welcome back. The Shadow, hey, how's it going? Let's go. Hey Guy, hey TH, hey, thanks for being here. This is gonna be epic. Lucky MSTR says, hopefully. Had a bit of, yeah, that was me. And Aether over here with the snarky comments. No problem, it isn't unexpected at this point. You know what you can do with it? No, I'm just yeah. Warpaint and Unicorns, welcome back. Hi 1107, welcome back as well. Okay. Anyways, so let's get to this, shall we? Anyways, so it's been a common request since 2.4 came out. That I pull all of the Enkanomiya books and I give my take on them. I have had no time at all to read those books. I've only read one of them, and that was because I covered it, over the 12 days of Tevat Wintoria, so it was just already done. I didn't need to, it's just part of the collection now, so I'm gonna read it again tonight along with the other ones. But yeah, so basically what the idea of this one is gonna be is I'm gonna get into the archive and read the books, give my take kind of throughout and also at the end. I might stop and take some notes all throughout, so you might see a little bit of my process for this as well this evening, just because it's frequently, necessary for me to take notes on some of these things, just so that I don't let go of some plot things that I notice or things like that. So yeah, if there's anything that I need to take notes on, I'll be doing that. But yeah, so that's what the plan is, at least to start. And then after that, I might just kind of have a chill stream. We'll just continue to discuss what I think is going on from the books, and then I'll probably explore Enkanomiya afterwards, because I still have I don't know, 15% worth of stuff to explore here or something like that. Oh, okay, 16%. I'm getting there. It's definitely not quite done yet, but I'm getting there. You're here for the mind blow, washing my dishes, and ready for a shower listening to it all. Right on. All right, so TH in reading mode. I am going into reading mode. Research do be happening. It do. All right, so let's get right to it. Not much reason to wait or stand on ceremony about it, so let's just get into it. So the book collection is called the Byakuyakoku collection. That seems like it would be hard to say fast several times. Byakuyakoku collection, Byakugai. Nope, couldn't even get through it the second time. I knew, and yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna happen. Enkanomiya got 130% of things to find. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's good, because it means I'll hit that that 100% mark with less effort. Anyways, so each of these books do have a title to them. However, the title of these books have been obscured when they're listed in the collection. I do have a video recording of which books they are and, what order I do believe that they are displayed in. However, I'd have to go dig that up. Let me see if I can get at that really quick so that I can actually tell you guys which books they are as I get to them, because that might make this a little bit of a smoother process after things get going. And if I had thought about it, I would have dug this up before, not during the stream, but you know, rip. All right, I think I see which clip it is already anyways, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. I think it's this one, maybe. Nope, I was wrong. It's not that one. Crap. Where is it? It can't be. Okay, it's got to be one of these. I think I know which one it is. All right, it's what? That doesn't appear to be right. It's definitely one of these though, because I found the clip where I looted them during the stream, but that doesn't pop them into the same order anyways. So it would have to be in the previous clip where you hand them in. All right. Let's see. It has to be this one. Okay. So it does. It starts with the Serpent and Drakes of Tokuyokoku. That is actually one that I have already made a video for. So I'm still going to go over it again anyways. It's one of the shorter ones regardless. So I'm still going to go ahead and start with that, but it's, yeah, the first one should be, as I said, the Serpent and Drakes of Tokuyokoku. Anyways, mysteries creation conceals, the sun and moon's omens reveal. Three corners in darkness shrouded, the void by five saints clouded. The universe has no beginning and no end. And so it was with the land that once was. But this matters not to us. For the land that bears us no longer has anything to do with the eternity without start or ceasing. So said the lone sage Abaraku to the first Sunchild. The Sunchild had long intended to punish Abaraku. Summoning the sage before the throne in this manner was but an additional way of making things difficult for him before detaining him. Legend has it that Abaraku was opened up to wisdom by Tokyo Okami, and was thus able to bring light to Enkanomiya, which had till then never seen the sun. But the Sunchild grew jealous of his talents, thus imprisoning him for life. Yet these children of the sun never considered that had Abaraku not created that underground star, they would never have existed in the first place. The origin of heaven and earth is like the chicken and egg, and are not dragons and snakes kin. No sooner had the sage Abaraku uttered these words than he was overthrown by troops lying in ambush. So this tracks with what we've learned all throughout Enkanomiya. Abaraku was the one who created the Denishi Mikoshi and was subsequently arrested after the Sunchild became jealous of his accomplishments and thought that he was seeking to overthrow him. At that time, Enkanomiya had only just been bought some room to breathe by the appearance of the sun. The Dragonairs loved the dark and shunned the light, and thus could no longer act with impunity. The days when the Dragonairs would rampage and graze upon humanity like so much grass had, at last, come to an end. For the people of Enkanomiya finally had the means to resist. Yet it came to pass that the flaws in human nature would rear their ugly heads even before such threats could be quelled. The people chose a Sunchild, crowned him king, and worshipped him. And yet he ruled with a brutal hand, framing the righteous. Unnumbered years would pass before a young child of Enkanomiya would make a wager with his peers. Alone, he would dive beyond the three corners, evading the trail of the Dragonairs, in search of the Dragonbone flower. But what he found instead within a great cavern was a mighty serpent, one he had never seen before. Somehow, as he gazed upon the serpent's titanic form, the child felt no fear, but instead a kind of kinship. I am the profane serpent. Though my servants are numberless, not one mortal now dwells in my shadow. That I have fallen into this realm, and that we should meet, perhaps this is fate. You are not of my people, but you are human nonetheless. Speak your desire, and I shall hear it. Could you then, perchance, become our god? Thus did they. Human and serpent go forth to face the royal authority of the Sunchild and the incursions of the Dragonairs beyond. Thus was the curtain raised on the turning of the tide. So some of the things that I can already kind of discern from this, and this one has new some new contextual learning to be gained just from having played through the Enkanomiya questline. And I think probably one of the first things is, yeah, okay, so we knew that Abaraku was detained. We knew that even before we traveled to Enkanomiya, if you had read this. But it said that maybe his wisdom, this says that his wisdom was possibly opened up by the Tokyo Okami, which we now believe to also be Osial. The serpent that it's talking about that he met with is Osial. Now, we figured that before too. However, before we didn't really properly understand that this unencumbered years would pass. This idea, or not unencumbered, unnumbered years would pass. So this period, indefinite period of time that passed, originally I was kind of thinking that maybe it was Abaraku who, like, as a child had found him, and that's what it was talking about. But it doesn't seem like this is in the past. Or rather, everything before this was in the past, and then this was in the, you know, at some point later in the future. It's unnumbered years would pass. So somebody else then found Osial. So he continued to remain in Enkanomiya dormant for a while. And then later helped them to, I guess, leave Enkanomiya for whatever reasons we don't know yet. So, or not Osial. I'm sorry. It's not Osial. it's Orobashi. You're right. Good job. I actually think I put the wrong tag in the video now. I'm thinking I've got Osial on the brain because of all the 2.4 stuff and what is it, Baish, his wife, and all that stuff. Yeah, I've got Osial on the brain. My apologies. But yeah, it's Orobashi or Orobaxi or however we're saying it now. I don't even know. Like, they changed the text and I don't know. It's weird. One of these days, I will have to probably go back and change that in my description to be Orobashi, because my brain was locked into the wrong character for some reason. Anyway, so book 2. Man, I feel like my microphone sounds weird tonight, like kind of like echoey or something. I don't have any effects turned on, so I don't know why that would be the case, but it sounds weird to me tonight, and I don't know why. All right, so the second book is Baptismal Vishap Experimental Records, or at least it should be. At least in left to right order, it looks like it's Baptismal. Oh, wait, maybe it's not. Hang on. Let's see. Let me go back. No. Did I click on... Maybe I didn't click on the second book in this right away. No, I don't think I did. Yeah. Wait. How did... The clip that I have for this is kind of confusing. God dang it. Yeah, this makes it look like it is. Yeah, so the second one, at least left to right, does make this look like it should be baptismal, but based on the beginning of the book, it doesn't seem like that would be the case, though, does it? So I already read volume 1. So somebody's here saying book 2 is before Sun and Moon. So I am going to say that this is before Sun and Moon. I'm more inclined to believe that because this doesn't seem like it's about the baptismal stuff. Hang on. God dang it. I don't even know for sure right now. So this should be, if whoever in the chat does know the order of the books, please let me know. Okay, cool. So it is confirmed. Warpaint Unicorn saying it, and then Dude B8 also saying it's before Sun and Moon. I will have to cross-check this stuff too with Wikipedia and all that stuff and kind of make sure everything is linking up correctly. All right. So, book 2. I have not... So, keeping in mind, the only one of these 5 books that I had read previously was that first one. So, all of these other 4 are completely uncharted territory for me. All right, so, let's go. Yeah, Warpaint Unicorns, I agree. It does suck that they're not labeled. Hopefully, they'll change these volume titles to actually have the individual book titles on them so that we can more easily tell them apart in game. All right. What we wish to record is the tale of how heaven's will took shape on the earth below. There we go. O heavenly gods, these creations are your works. Grant us divine wisdom. Let us endlessly record. When the doves held branches. When the eternal throne of the heavens came, the world was made anew. Then the true Lord, the primordial one, came forth and did battle against the 7 terrifying sovereigns, dragon lords of the old world. The primordial one created shining shades of itself, and the number of these shades was 4. On Fanes or the primordial one? The primordial one has been Fanes. I think it's Fanes. It had wings and a crown. It was birthed from an egg, androgynous in nature. But for the world to be created, the eggshell had to be broken. However, Fanes, the primordial one, used the eggshell to separate the universe and the microcosm of the world. Oh, this is interesting already. Oh god, I don't even... Okay, this sounds like some like creation type stuff. Oh, I don't know how to even begin to interpret that. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll get some context. 40 years after the held branches. So this sounds like when the doves held branches. So this is 40 years after that. 40 winters entombed the flames, and 40 summers churned the seas. The 7 sovereigns were vanquished, and the 7 nations submitted to the heavens. The primordial one, the great sovereign, began the creation of heaven and earth for our sake. That of its creations which it cherished most would soon appear upon this earth. Okay, the primordial one, the great sovereign, began creation of heaven and earth for our sake. And that of its creations which it cherished most would soon appear on this earth. 40 winters and 40 summers. So this makes it seem like the 7 sovereigns were vanquished, the 7 nations submitted to the heavens. So this, oh god, this makes it sound as if this was immediately following the Archon War. But is this then a catalog still of what's happening within Byakuyakoku? Or, and then who is the for our sake? Is it everybody? Is it just the people of Enkanomiya? Is it, oh god, oh, this is very interesting. So the 7 nations submitted to the heavens. See, I don't know how I want to interpret this. 40 winters entombed the flames. So like this, okay, I'm gonna have to keep moving. 400 years after the held branches. So this progresses even another 360 years. The mountains and rivers were made, and the seas and oceans accepted those who rebelled and those who would not kneel. The primordial one, in one of its shades, created the birds of the air, the beasts of the earth, and the fish of the sea. Together they also created flowers, grass, and trees, before finally creating humans, our ancestors. Numerous as the stars in the sky, uncountable as the sand on the shore. From that time, our ancestors made a covenant with the primordial one, and so entered a new age. Okay, so this is before humans even arrived in Teyvat, so this is way earlier. The year of the Ark's opening. The Ark's opening. The primordial one had sacred plans for humans. As long as they were happy, it too rejoiced. Okay, the year after the Ark's opening. The people worked the land, and so came the first harvest. The people mined, and so reaped the first crop. The first crop of I can't talk. The people mined, and so reaped the first crop of precious ore. The people gathered, and the first poems were written. Okay, so this seems like a very early cataloging then of life, like human life in Teyvat. The year of Jubilee. If there was hunger, the heavens would bring down food and rain. If there was poverty, the earth would bring forth its riches. If melancholy were to spread, the heavens would reply with their voices. The one taboo was to succumb to temptation, but the path to temptation had already been sealed. Huh. So to succumb to temptation, but what is exactly the temptation? What is it that's being seen as taboo? Okay. The funerary year. The second throne of the heavens came. The second throne. The war was rekindled, as it was in the world's creation. That day the heavens collapsed and the earth was rent asunder. Our ancestors in their ancestral land fell into this place. During that conflict, the era of darkness had begun. Okay. So this is the origin, the origination of Enkanomiya then. Everything that we had before. This is, okay, so this could be early echoes of like the idea of the cyclical nature that some people have been theorizing for Tevat. Where, you know, rebirth, or, you know, birth and destruction, rebirth, and so forth. So now they've been, you know, like, there, I believe that there was a mention during the Enkanomiya questline. Somebody said that the world capsized, I think was the word that they used. So, and they were all dumped into basically the abyss, and that's where they were with the Dragonairs for a long time. The first year of darkness. The people of the Seven Sovereigns had found refuge in the oceans, and the Dragonairs of the depths ruled this particular place, which led to war between them and our ancestors. Our ancestors chased them into the shadows of the light of 1,000 lanterns, and they hid in those shadows, hunting us. But there was only darkness in this place, and so their hunting grounds were untrammeled. The prayers of the people turned into lamentations, but the primordial one and its 3 other shining shades did not hear. The primordial one. So, oh man, this is really making me wonder if this primordial one is this, like, and they said that, oh god, and the one before, the second throne of heavens came. So this is like, is this like the idea of like when Celestia came? Like, so like they're like, the guy, oh, I cannot remember his name from the Enkanomiya questline right now, who became the pyro, the pyro abyss lector. Somebody would have to remind me of his name, but it seems like this is all, you know, leading up to possibly the arrival of Celestia, maybe. And then the second throne could be Celestia's challenge for the rule over Tevat. Okay, this is just initial thoughts on how this goes. Anjo, thank you, Anjo, thank you. The first year of darkness. All right, starting again. The people of the Seven Sovereigns had found refuge in the oceans, and the Dragonairs of the depths ruled this particular place, which led to war between them and our ancestors. Our ancestors chased them into the shadows with the light of 1,000 lanterns, and they hid in those shadows, hunting us. But there was only darkness in this place, and so their hunting grounds were untrammeled. The prayers of the people turned into lamentations, but the primordial one and its 3 other shining shades did not hear. Oh, the 3 shining shades. Oh, so this is giving me serious, like, I know that there's been, there was, what is it, what is it, the Pale Princess and the 6 Pygmies, I think, or maybe it wasn't that one. There's one where it mentions, like, these moon sisters, where there was, like, once several moon sisters, and now I'm wondering, maybe. It's just things that are equal in number, maybe. The Parable of the Sun. In a dark cavern, there lived a group of people who had never seen the light. Among them was a sage who had seen the sun, and he told the gathered folk about what life under the sun was like, and about the great might of the sun. Seeing that they did not comprehend, he lit the torch, and thus did people come to worship the flame, believing it to be the sun. They even got used to a life of darkness and fire. When the sage died, someone would monopolize the flame. Using it, they would cast a long shadow over the land. Okay. When the sage died, someone would monopolize the flame. So, Okay, I don't know how I want to take that one just yet. I want to keep reading. The Parable of the Lethied Lotus. Lethied lotus. A lotus that causes all who look upon it to forget their troubles. A ship captain searching for a way back to the surface discovered a tribe of people who ate the lotuses. Some crew members stayed in that place. Others rejected that temptation. Life is a boundless ocean of suffering. We are only searching for a way home. I need to definitely take a quick look at what the definition of lethied is, because I'm not going to sit here and say that I know what that means. Lethied or lethied. Let's see. Lethian or forgetful, meaning, okay. It's Lethian or forgetful. So it's basically synonymous to forgetful. So, or, oh, that's weird though. Or of the forgetful lotus? Is that maybe like the idea of like a forgetful lotus? Like everybody's eating the lotus. Does it cause them to forget things? Like, is that why it's called the forgetful lotus? It makes them not remember? Huh. Okay. Okay. The third year of darkness. We knew the only one who had not forsaken us as the ruler of time. She was the moment. She was every moment. She was the measure of 1,000 winds in the sun and moon. She was every second of joy, every moment of rage, every instant of longing, every minute of obsession. She was every flash of delirium. We call her Kairos, or the ruler of the unchanging world. We dare not speak her true secret name, and so I pen it here only once, in reverse. Okay, I'm gonna write that the other direction really quick. I-S-T-A-R-O-T-H. Istaroth. Istaroth? Jeez. Okay, so the god of time has a name. We now, this all but confirms that the god of time we don't know if it's still going to be the sustainer of heavenly principles. It kind of seems not, but but now we know that she is real. She's not just something people made up. Like, she existed. But why did Conria worship her? If she was in Enkanomiya, if she was part of Byakuyakoku. Okay. The Year of Blindness. The sage Abrax's wisdom was awakened, and he unveiled a light-bringing miracle from within his hands. So our ancestors began to build the Helios, with him as their leader. So the Danishi Mikoshi began to be built. The Year of Sight, or the first year of sun and moon. Helios, the divine chariot of the sun, was finally completed. The white night came, and Evernight was banished. The years of sun and moon had begun. Okay, so it's done. The second year of sun and moon. Our ancestors sought the returning way. For surely the war on the surface had ended by then. But the primordial one, the first throne, had laid down a ban, preventing our ancestors from finding the path home. In that case, the primordial one must have defeated the second who came. Abrax was imprisoned by order of the Sunchild. All right, so now he's been, I guess, you know, like his whole idea. I guess this is very interesting. Like the idea that he created so much, but then started to speculate on what happened. He got imprisoned for it. They're still talking about the war above ground. This makes me think of it being part of like the idea of, oh man, this is crazy. White Wolf Third says, I tell you about a story. I think the words derived from river Leth that flows through the underworld in Greek mythology. If you're touched by it or drink its water, it makes you forget things. It's not something I know loads about, but researching that could bring up some answers about the lotus. the river Leth. Okay, I'll definitely make sure to do that. Now, I would also like to point out that, like, this is an interesting parallel to the idea of erosion as well, because that seems to be like the predominant force of, like, the erosion seems to make people forget things. Even Dainsleif talked about, you know, living the ages and no longer remembering. And even in the Battle Pass cutscene, oh god, oh, why can't I remember its name right now? God dang it. Oh, I always remember its name and now I can't remember. It's sitting on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Whatever, the cutscene, it talks about how they're, you know, like, maybe it's the siblings, our siblings, but maybe it's not. But either way, it makes it seem as if, you know, the first sibling that came was deceived. And so, like, is the deception that she forgot who she was, or the Pathnostic Chorus, thank you, Warpaint, was that the deception? What was she given, you know, like, access to this, or like exposed to these Lodi or Lotus, or however you want to look at it, or the River Leth or whatever, and was caused to forget and began to think that she's somebody that she's not? But she does still know who Ether is. She does seem to know. So, okay, I'm gonna have to continue. The parable of the tree. The king's gardener and the tree spirit of the royal garden were in love, but the king wished to repair the beams of his pavilion, and so needed to cut down the tree with the most spiritual energy within it. The king was the incarnation of the primordial one, and the gardener could not defy the sovereign of sovereigns, and so could only bring his plea to the king's priest, who was the incarnation of Tokyo Okami. The priest had pity on the gardener and said to him, "Go and cut the branches of the spirit tree down." The gardener did so, and afterward did as the king ordered, cutting the spirit tree itself down. Then the priest said, "Plant the spirit tree's branches in the ground." But the gardener said, "A spirit tree shall take 500 years to grow." The priest said, "Your one thought shall echo through eternity." And so the gardener planted the branches in his backyard. In an instant, the slim branches grow into a new tree, and the new tree's spirit was a continuation of the past one. For it is the god of moments who is able to take seeds from this moment into the past and the future. Oh man, the gardener. So my initial reaction to this concept of the gardener, and this is only because, you know, like, we crave as humans to explain things in terms of what we understand. But the closest person I can think of through description, man, like, the closest thing I can think of as to a gardener in description, no, not the Dendro Archon, is the Bowkeeper. The one who was, like, Bowkeeper is literally like the branches of a tree, right? The Bowkeeper is Dainsleif, but he was supposed to be a guardian of Conria. So I don't want to just be like, oh, everything's Dainsleif. Screw it, everything is Dainsleif. Dainsleif's the god of time. Dainsleif's the gardener. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But this seems like an interesting connection possibility for a character such as he, who also claims to not remember the past that well anymore. But also we have this idea that we learned about of, like, these envoys from Conria that were sent to Enkanomiya in the time before they left. And we don't really know what they were up to, or who they were, or even whether or not this gardener person is a native to Enkanomiya or was a individual from Conria. And if that is the case, say, we'll play devil's advocate for just a second and say, okay, it's Dainsleif, and say he traveled to Enkanomiya, or he went here and he became this gardener. Could this be why he's looked upon as a traitor? Could something he did here have undermined Conria? I don't know. I don't understand. The king of Conria is the incarnation of the primordial one. I don't know. I need to read this one again. The parable of the tree. The king's gardener and the tree spirit of the royal garden were in love. Now, another interesting thing to point out here, the king's gardener. So there's also the line at the end of the timeline trailer where Dainsleif said, I remember you too, or she too once loved those flowers. So this established him right from the get-go as somebody who had possibly a romantic involvement. The way he delivered that line very much was a warm memory to him, somebody that he cared about. To me, initially it was like, maybe this is like a memory of like Lamine or somebody like that, or maybe like, he's talking about somebody else, but this could be somebody else. This could be possibly like, Dainsleif could have been the king's gardener. The tree spirit of the royal garden were in love, but who's the tree spirit? Who is that? Oh man. Oh God. So no, I don't think Warpaint, I don't think Danes is talking about the travelers. When he talked about it, I don't think it is. But the king wished to repair the beams of his pavilion, and so needed to cut down the tree with the most spiritual energy within it. The king was the incarnation of the primordial one. So whose king is this? Is this a king of Conria? Or is this a king of... It shouldn't be a king of Enkanomiya, right? Because Enkanomiya had the sun children at this time. They did not have kings. So it would have to be a king of Conria. And if that's the case, where are they now? And would that explain why our traveler's sibling is now the princess? Did he transform? Is he still around? Is he still in charge of anything? Yeah, so Maria Paz Gonzalez Lesme says the Bowkeeper equals the gardener. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Dainsleif is the gardener. It could explain this whole concept of like the trader and all this stuff, possibly, depending on what and who ended up going to Enkanomiya later and what the reason for that was. Now here it seems like he did exactly what he was told, despite being the gardener and despite being in love with the tree spirit. He cut down the branches of the spirit tree and then afterwards cut the entire tree down. Did he kill the tree spirit by doing that? And then the priest said, plant the tree spirit's branches in the ground, but the gardener said, a spirit tree shall take 500 years to grow. The priest said, your one thought shall echo through eternity. And so the gardener planted the branches in his backyard. In an instant, the slim branches grow into a new tree, and the new tree spirit was a continuation of the past one. So she came back. So she was already back. For it is the God of moments who is able to take the seeds from this moment into the past and future. So the God of moments could be the God of time. This could be Istaroth. I'm gonna have to take a note on that. God of moments, maybe. This particular line, the parable of the tree, has a lot to unpack. God, I feel like I could. I'm gonna end up I'm thinking that I'm going to so I've got this celestial portal theory that I've been working on for a while, and it's still largely preliminary, but I've got a lot of active thoughts about how I think that should progress. But now I'm wondering if this is not going to have to be a multiple part theory where, I have 2 or 3 videos, each a week apart or something to cover these topics with the care that they probably deserve. This is gonna get deep, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna get crazy. The 10th year of Sun and Moon. Abrix is gone. Abaraku. The events before the Sun and Moon have been recorded sufficiently. Well, if I did not dare to write things down just as they happened, how could I consider myself a scribe of Tokyo Okami? Hark, I hear armor without. Here, I shall stop writing. All right, so interesting. So this was just the end of that person's recordings, kind of closing out this book. Yeah, book 2 was interesting. Also, 500 years is exactly the time skip between arriving in Tevat and the game start. That's also true. And this, I would want to do some math on these, just to see how much time this spans. So let's see, let's see, 40 years after. So we have a 0 plus 40. Then we have 400. So that's already a good chunk of time. Another 1 year. Another year after that. The Year of Jubilee, I would say, is probably at least another year after that, assuming this is completely... that it's all completely back to back, although I don't know that we can actually assume that. First Year of Darkness is another one. Parable of the Sun doesn't give us any indication of time, I don't think. No, it does not. The Third Year of Darkness. So this is one where I don't know if I should just add 3. I don't think so. Because this is like, you know, after they had fallen in, right? Like this is like the Third Year of Darkness, so they're in at least 3. That's First Year of Darkness, so then I would add 2. I would say I add 2 to this. The Year of Blindness, there's another 1. The Year of Sight, or the First Year of Sun and Moon, would be an additional 1. Oh my god. Just lots and lots of little, just 1. So, and then we have the 10th year of Moon and Sun. So, oh god. So, like, I already added up, what, 3 and then 5. So it almost doesn't even matter at that point, because we know that it's just 10 since then to the end of this book. So, like, it doesn't even, all those ones don't even matter. Just to the recording of the book, it's 450 years of recording. So, did the same person record all of this? Did that person live to be 450 years old? I don't know. And who was this scribe who wrote all this down? I don't know that it covered that either. Let's see, back at the beginning, what do we wish to record? Is the tale that took shape of heaven and the gods. These creations are your works. Grant us divine wisdom. Let us endlessly record. No, it didn't. Huh. Okay, so then beyond that, in the parable of the tree, there's the mention of the 500 years. The spirit tree shall take 500 years to grow. An interesting number choice for sure, because that also 500-year tree growth, that also corresponds with how long our traveler was, you know, sealed. But whether or not that's a connection or something, we don't know for sure. Oh boy. Does anybody know which book the third book is? Because just looking at the video that I have recorded of it doesn't seem to translate one-to-one with the order of the books. Let's see. You should ask why 500 years. Is it the same between Awakening of the Siblings? I don't know. I mean, it could be. Like, it's obviously, again, like, we crave to, you know, define things by the things that we understand. We crave to make patterns of the things that we see. But I feel like my goal generally as a theorist for Genshin Impact is recognize the patterns when they appear, or when they start to appear, but resist calling them so until it's verified. Because otherwise things get a little blurry. Even when you're, you know, like, you can't make 2 is not a pattern, right? 2 is not a pattern. You need 3 or more to start effectively establishing such a thing. So I can't say for sure that we have that yet. There is a hidden quest dealing with Leth and the Lotus. Is there really? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that too. Hidden quest. I'll look that up. Hidden quest. And I may have to get into that after I finish reading these books then. Hidden quest, Leth and Lotus. And Lotus. Okay, let me get into that too later. Seeing as how it's referenced in the book, and the book is called The Time Before Moon and Sun. Yeah. The primordial one created 4 shades, of which is the god of time. The other 3 may be the 3 moon sisters, I think. Yeah, I am thinking that that could be the case as well. But we're going to need more confirmation of that. Of course, I do believe there was a time where, I want to say the other volumes of the Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies had been leaked or something, and then they were quickly all shut down, as my understanding of it. I never saw the other ones. I had only read something about the fact that that had happened. So honestly, I'm glad I never saw them, because I wouldn't have wanted to have, you know, this entire experience ruined for me by something like that. And there's probably a reason why those things were taken away. Maybe they were released in a beta or something that I wasn't, you know, tracking or something. But I would be willing to bet we'll see those when we go to the Great Library in Sumeru, though. We'll see. Insert the Sherlock Holmes quote. Elementary, yes. Wait, I am not super versed on lore, but I thought you had a theory that linked Danes to the Bloodstained artifact lore set, which I think is also interesting, because I thought that set talked about him causing lots of bloodshed. I wonder if cutting the branches of the tree is a reference to that. So here's the thing about that. As time goes on, sometimes you start to even believe your own theories a little less the more you learn. And while I do think that there's merit to possibility that Danes could have been the Bloodstained Knight, I'm not positive that is actually the case. So that could be an interesting reference, but to me, I read the bloodshed that he sowed was very much more literal. He was hunting. The Bloodstained Knight was hunting the creatures of the Cataclysm. For sure, that is what he was doing. I do, like, especially after we found out that the Crimson Witch was Signora, I definitely feel like the Bloodstained Knight. He died in the Abyss, but death can also be a form of rebirth, so I'm not confident to say that it is not Dainsleif. But I'm not also confident to say that it is. But what I'm confident is the fact that they established this character through the deep lore of an artifact set, and that he died in the Abyss, and, you know, like, they built up so much for him. I do think we're going to find out who this person was, or what became of them. I always interpreted his death as a rebirth scenario. Have you found the Before Sun and Moon book? I actually just finished reading that book. Mal. Volume 2 of the collection I'm reading right now was Before Sun and Moon. Here is something interesting. We know before Phanes came, the world was ruled by 7 sovereigns. So where in time does the Seelie civilization exist? Right. So that's another complication. You know, like, so I can't help but to think that the Seelie civilization, like, I feel like they have to be the death of the civilization that existed at the start, right? Like, they have to be that first civilization before the battle of the Second Throne's arrival. Like, the deaths of the people of, like, the original humans of Tavat. It has to be that. But can we really be sure of that? I can't say either. The NPC Eboshi also collaborates the lore in these 5 books. I will look into that as well. I do think I've seen him. Eboshi collaborates, but I will want to consult him again. The lore in the books. The lore in books. Thank you for that. Lore in books. I will definitely make sure to check that as a reference here. When we met Dainsleif, he talks about the seeds of potential sprouting, blah, blah, blah. When questioned, he disregarded it as some musings. Yeah, this is among reasons why I think that he very, very much could be the gardener. Dainsleif and the seeds, for sure. He's the gardener. Like, he has to be. He has to be. Let's see. It said stuff about seeds. That's a good catch. I totally forgot about that, but he did. Stuff about seeds. Seelie civilization is speculated to be created by Phanes. I mean, God, anything's possible at this point. Anyways, book 3. Do we know which one this was? Warpaint, do you know which one this one was? I wish that they had kept the titles of these books on here so that I could tell which ones they are, because right now I have no freaking clue. Jeez. And just like that, the field tiller's name make a little more sense. Yeah, so agreed. Actually, so early on when this thing was talking about like the fields were being, you know, filled and all that stuff, that is definitely one that I was thinking, you know, I was thinking of the field tillers as well. Hydrological one, let's see, hydrological studies in Byakuyakoku. Okay. The lands beneath the aphotic depths are vastly different from those on the surface. To the extent that all surface-derived common sense must be abandoned down below, all we formerly knew of land and sea was given to us directly by the heavens. In this new world of ours, we must begin groping even for the simplest methodologies anew. Oh, you who come after and read these words, do not take the life you lead for normalcy. Even if after 100 or 1,000 years, people should grow used to life down here, always remember, these days with neither sun nor moon are abnormal. Even if some sage were to draw us the sun, there will surely be filthy wretches who will borrow its light to cast long shadows over us. That actually super did happen to them. This book is intended to help people understand the world they live in, and to never forget our desire to return to the light. This book has been constantly edited, redacted, and modified over the years. Even the name of the book's title has seen change from Aphotic Earth to Tokuyokoku before becoming Byakuyakoku. Later, due to the grace of Watatsumi, the people of the depths would return to the sea's surface. But it seems like Aphotic Earth has some special meaning, and it has not been universally changed throughout the text. Aphotic Earth. This is like a word where I need, again, I need to, I don't know that I remember what aphotic means. Aphotic. Aphotic is being in the deep zone of an ocean or lake, receiving too little light to permit photosynthesis. Okay. Interesting. So it's, yeah, outside that totally makes sense then, given the entire context of everything that Byakuyakoku is. Okay. Of wind and water. Byakuyakoku has no mountains to speak of, and so it is pointless to speak of them. However, our priests and sages have detected something. Even in these depths, the power of the undying wind and the water still remain. The personification of the undying wind is known as Tokyo Okami, and is poetically rendered the Thousand Winds, or the Thousand Winds of Time. Water, on the other hand, is the might of the Vishap realm, represented by the baptismal Vishaps. We have already developed a certain field of study regarding the relationship between sunfire, wind, and water. As such, both hydrology and the undying wind must be considered before undertaking any project of civil engineering. Okay, so it says we've already developed a certain field of study regarding the relationship between sunfire, wind, and water. As such, both hydrology and the undying wind must be considered before So, okay, that's kind of confusing. Oh, man. Okay, I'm super confused about that. Oh, that one's gonna be me reading a lot more times, I think. Let's move on for now. But it seems like there was a lot of considerations before the Danishi Mikoshi could be constructed, is what that seems like it is. But, yeah, I mean, it's all about hydrological studies or whatever, so, okay, we'll continue. Of wind and water. Oh, I already read that one. The borders of Byakuyakoku. The borders of Byakuyakoku are marked out by 3 corners. These mark the limits of the seesaw clash between humanity and the Vishaps. During the era of Byakuyakoku, the towers of the 3 realms were built at these 3 corners, used to harmonize the 3 realms. Their ancient names have been lost to time, and they were renamed after the coming of Watatsumi. These towers are exceedingly important, and they are not in locations aligned with either wind or water. Rather, their purpose is to stabilize the tendencies of Byakuyakoku and control its winds and waters. If these towers were to be imperiled, so would the entire nation. As such, they have been hidden using secret arts, Only the shrine maidens and the vassals of Watatsumi can summon them forth. Okay, so that makes sense because there's a quest where we do that. So that would explain why they were hidden on the map until we did that quest, where they said that we were like an envoy from Watatsumi, and they just assumed that we were anyways, and we kind of are. And so we were able to uncover them and explore more. Okay. And now we know about the 1,000 Winds of Time. We do. We know that the god of time is Istaroth, likely also known as the god of moments. Which is an interesting counterpoint. Like, I would like to point out, like, this whole idea of, like, the god of moments, right? Okay, so that's like all these individual moments, like the idea of the now. But wasn't that kind of what Mikoto's whole deal was, like, transience, right? But, like, she was very much a person who wanted to, like, live for the now, but enjoy, but understand that life goes on, and that impermanence gives it meaning. So I feel like the god of moments is an interesting, like, counterpoint to that, where it's almost like eternity all over again. Interesting. The Narrows. The Narrows were in the earliest times, sandwiched between the mountain face and the area known as the Roundlands, thus earning that location its name. However, the exceedingly strange tectonic shifts in Byakuyakoku caused the Roundlands to collapse into the depths, thus causing the Narrows to widen significantly. Interesting. So the Roundlands, the Narrows collapsed. I'd have to check. I think I know which one that is on the map, but I'd have to look at it again. I think it's like the kind of like southwestern one, I think, off the top of my head. Interesting. But that's something... I want to write that down because I want to look for that later too. The Narrows collapsed. I want to see if there's any signs of that exactly, or, you know, like visual signs that may have been designed by the creation team for the area, to see if that looks like that. A says eternity is closer to the heavenly principles. Yeah, she does say of those 7 principles, eternity is closest unto heaven, I do believe is her exact quote. Yeah. So I also find that interesting. However, the god of moments was potentially the 8th god of Tevat and was banished to the underworld, essentially. Like, she was banished to hell in Enkanomiya with everybody else. And, you know, like, everybody down there saw her as, you know, not forsaking them by being there. So did she stand against them in that moment, and that's why she was banished as well? Or was she part of whatever temptation resulted in them being sent? Because, like, of course, they said that, you know, there was a temptation that was not, you know, a taboo was to, you know, not give in to temptation, and the temptation was obviously already a problem, and it was already given into. Who caused it? The chasm is the next area that might be related. It could be. I don't want to relate everything to everything, though. All right. The Serpent's Heart. From the first time our ancestors discovered this place, it had already played host to a unique phenomenon, in which space itself might overlap in a certain locale. Later, those who came before us would utilize this phenomenon by creating the Serpent's Heart. It would be used to guard secrets, imprison criminals, and worship the great imaginary serpent, Ouroboros. In our earliest times, this place was called Delphi, the land of snakes. This name did not change even after the arrival of Watatsumi Omikami. Interesting. Ancient art depicts the scaleless serpent as Ouroboros, and the coral-adorned serpent as Orobashi. Okay, so there were 2. Ouroboros and Orobashi are 2 different things. Ouroboros and Orobashi are separate. And it says that Orobashi was a coral-adorned serpent. Coral. And Ouroboros had no scales. No scales. Now, this is interesting to me because we have... I would like to point... There's that statue at the underside of, I believe, the Serpent's Heart that depicts the half-man, half-serpent that is holding up a lantern. Is this this half serpent, is that a depiction of Ouroboros then? The scaleless serpent, not a humanoid version of Orobashi. That seems more probable to me then, because, you know, like a scaleless serpent could also, you know, be one that has a half human form. It doesn't all of a sudden just start having scales at the bottom. It could just have been that. The Temple of Delphi in IRL world is centered around light and divination. Interesting. Did not know that. Temple of Delphi. Let me look that up at some point too, because that's something I'm definitely going to need to dig into. Temple of Delphi. In IRL. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to check that one out. Man with serpent with light. No, he's a man who is half serpent with light. Or at least that's what the statue appears to look like to me. Anyways, the earliest name of this place was Helios. Danishi Mikoshi. And it was the high tower built by the sage Abaraku, standing for earth, the element between wind and water. According to prophecy, this was likely the sun that the sage displayed, used to light those lightless caverns. And just as those prophecies suggested, it was also later used to cast a great shadow over the nation. So yeah, I mean, the idea of like being used to cast a great shadow over the nation seems to again be a concurrent, like it's still detailing the idea that each of these sun children were used basically as figureheads and then sacrificed to the sun when they were getting older, and then, you know, would eventually begin to realize that the corruption existed. So they kept them young, they kept them children so that they were controllable, and then incinerated them when they didn't need them anymore, which is so messed up. And the shadow, I think that they're saying that's being cast over the nation is a metaphor for the corruption that was consuming Enkanomiya. Yeah, yes, sorry, branch instead of a serpent in his arm. It does look like he has, it seems to me like a branch, not a serpent in his arm. Like, it definitely seems like he has a branch, but it doesn't seem like it's coiled or anything. It's got multiple endpoints, I feel like. I'd need to go and look at it again, though. I haven't looked at it in probably like a week now. Let's see. Helios is the representation of sun and light. That I did know. And is also a pretty nasty villain in Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay, effective today. Oh, Volume 4. Volume 4. Before I get into this one, what is the name of Volume 4 then? Does anybody know which one this one was? Is this the one about the Vishaps? I think the Temple of Delphi is a temple, also Greek mythology, which houses the most important oracle, the one who recites the prophecies. It may also be somewhere to worship them. I'm not sure which. Maybe both. Interesting. Let's see. To get rid of babies because they wouldn't be useful anymore. Bruh. Yeah, I mean, basically, they killed them while they were still children because they were afraid that they would come into understanding what they were doing and not want to be manipulated. The people would follow the sun child as opposed to, you know, going along with whatever, political corruption was being taken. So Helios, often given the epithets of Hyperion, the one above, the Pantheon, or Pantheon, Pathon, the Shining, is the god and personification of the sun, solar deity in ancient Greek. I can tell right now I'm gonna have to spend so much time researching Greek mythology. I'm just gonna write that in giant letters on my notepad. Greek myth stuff. And I'm gonna underline it a couple of times because I'm definitely gonna need to like dig into that like a lot more. Because I'm feeling like I might have some comparative gaps on how to like, even if like I don't necessarily know if we should necessarily be using that as a means of saying this is what they're doing, because they're probably not going to do this in a one-to-one with, mirroring Greek mythology. But what they'll probably do is use it as a good inspiration, a frame of reference, so that we can kind of get an idea of maybe the ideals that they're trying to build on. Interesting. In the light beneath the shadow, volume 5. Number 4 is Baptismal Vishap Experimental Records. Okay, cool. We got that. The shadow, that's the sundial quote, right? Seeds of stories brought by the wind and cultivated by time. And stories brought on the wind will bloom into legend in due time. Yeah, those are the sundials. Yep. I want to say seeds of stories brought on by the wind and cultivated by time is Mondstadt, and stories brought on the wind will bloom into a legend in due time is the one that's out in the ocean. That's totally my writing convention stuff. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to use the word stuff, especially when you're like trying to absorb all this other complex stuff at the same time. See, stuff again. It's possible that Enkanomiya, where was Ajdaha was born from. Maybe. It's possible. He's an earth dragon. Serpent man statue, most likely Orbashi. He has scales on his snake parts, and Ouroboros is a scaleless snake. And the branch he is holding looks more like coral because it is one thick branch. Okay, that's fair. That's a good assessment. I will need to check that statue again to see who it is for sure. Who is the statue? If it is indeed coral, is it holding coral? Is it holding coral? Then it would be more likely that it is Orobashi and not God dang it, the names Ouroboros. There we go. Okay, anyways, so let's get into number 4. In the light beneath the shadow is number 5. So this one is Baptismal Vishap Experimental Records. Effective today, all experiments regarding the Dragonairs will be directed by Watatsumi Omakami in person. All files preceding the founding year of Watatsumi calendar have been destroyed. Dossier serial numbers shall no longer use the categories Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, and Epsilon, which use the ancient Watatsumi tongue. Instead, we shall use Earth, Water, Fire, Wind, Ether, and Void going forward. Interesting. Ether and Void. Okay. All quotes and notions are to be written with quotation marks. The following order of writing should be observed. File, header, serial number, subject, author can be omitted, or their internal title within the research lab may be used. Usage of a researcher's ancient Byakuyakoku Enkanomiya name or modern Watatsumi Narukami Inazuma name is forbidden. These experimental records are not to be used for the writing of diaries, love letters, or fantasy novels. So it seems like this sets up like their use of technical writing for all of this. Which could be interesting if we actually find any of this technical writing, or if any of it is in the text below, because it might help us to discern it more accurately, and actually maybe immediately. Let's see, it says all quotes are to be written in quotations, right? The follow order should be observed. Should be, okay, file, header, serial number, subject, author. So, file, header, okay. Oh god, subject, author, but I don't see, this already seems backwards, because if that is the case and it's already in the quotations, then like I don't, interesting. So it says that the serial number should no longer be used. The categories alpha, beta, gamma, so now it would be water, fire, wind, ether, void going forward. All quotes and notations are to be written within quotation marks. The following order of writing should be observed. File, header, serial number, subject, author. Well, I don't know that I see an author written in this, so it seems like this would just be the first portion then. The Dragonairs, hereafter named Baptismal Vishaps or simply Vishaps. Evolution is plain for all to see. Water 101, Dragonair Evolution 1. We have tried lowering the temperature in the living environs of the young heat-resistant Vishap. As a result, they were weaker once matured. We suspect that this is because its body did not possess the seed required to resist such an environment. However, its descendants would all possess high body fat, greater predilection towards sleep and would express the cryo element. Please refer to the experimental data after the main text. The abnormal data derived from sample 3 is due to my assistant feeling sorry for the subject of the anti-hunger control group and feeding it surreptitiously. When we then place their descendants into sweltering conditions, they would again choose, like their ancestors, the heat-resistant trait. However, none of them have developed traits indicative of the pyro element thus far. We do not have enough data to reach a conclusion at present, but we can make an educated guess that Bethishmal Vishaps have the ability to awaken their seed freely before maturation. Vishap mothers can also create new seeds to pass on to their descendants should they encounter heretofore unseen challenging environments. It can be said that even before encountering us, the people of Enkanomiya, the Bethishmal Vishaps, had already stored a veritable armory within their bodies. Okay, well, that's also really interesting. And you know, the more I think about it, the way this is kind of structuring up, the person who said before that maybe it's possible that this is where Ajdaha came from. I mean, he's like the king of Vishaps. I mean, it's not strictly impossible. That could be like his original point of origin, right? Like that could actually be a thing. Back of my chair just slumped on me. All right, there we go. So interesting. Now me hearing seed and going, yeah, me too, actually. And it's like, this is giving me lots of like wonders about where all of this might be going. And if like the Vishaps, oh God, like, I mean, we've known for a while that like non-humanoid creatures in Tavat have more natural predisposition to use of the elements, and humans can only do it through knowledge or vision acquisition. Yeah, because Morax carved his shape or whatever, if I recall. He did. It said that like it showed him like it was small, and then he found him. He is Lord of Geovishaps, but what's worth noting is that he has use of more than one element. He has use of many. So I don't know if it's fair to say it's just Geovishaps that he is, you know, a total like like I don't know, like even if he's not like the god of all Vishaps, you know, like it could be said, you know, said to be seen that he is the one of all the ones in the land of the Lord of Geo. But yeah, all but Animo, exactly. Because that one almost wouldn't even make sense. But it's very complicated. I don't even know what to make of this right now. Oh my God. Okay, next one. The results of the intelligence tests are astonishing. Void 207 Vishap intelligence research. Through a screening process consisting of rewards and punishments, although previous research indicates that screening is unnecessary, Vishaps are, one and all, adapters par excellence. The linguistic capacities of Vishaps 4 generations down are starting to approach that of a 12-year-old human student. The Vishaps can talk. Right, well, we do know that Ajdaha can speak. Interesting. Perhaps it might be more accurate to say that Vishaps always had their own methods of communication, and what they are displaying here is their ability to learn. We believe that these experiments should be stopped. If not, we may be proven narrow-minded for having dismissed that last person who wrote a fantastical tale about Vishap people. Prophecy holds that the dragon sovereign of water will be born in a human form. We must not let this thing happen in Enkanomiya. Interesting. The dragon sovereign of water will be born in human form. Oh, that's very interesting. So there's a prophecy that's, oh God, who is that going to be? Did it already exist? Dragon, oh God, dragon sovereign. Oh my God. This is gonna give the, oh god, this is I have so much to work through. Dragon Sovereign of Water. Human form. Alright. Well, we'll see. Aja is a Geo Vishap. Right. I'm not saying that he is not a Geo Vishap. I'm only saying that he may still have some form of origination from whatever happened here. The 7 dragons that were defeated by the primordial one. Yes. That was like the first war, right? Right at the beginning of the book. Kokomi. So it could be Kokomi, but I don't know right now. We don't necessarily have any proof of that yet. However, a lot of people in the community have generally felt that Kokomi has gone underused thus far, and that could be an interesting reason as to why they've underused her so far. So yeah, one could definitely say that that character had a lot more build-up and a lot more pre-hype than a character like Shenhua did, and Shenhua got a lot more screen time. So we'll see. That would definitely be an interesting way for them to go. We'll see. Okay. Next. All previous attempts at grafting have failed. Void 907, Watatsumi Omikami's special order is 1. Because they cannot accept Watatsumi Omikami's blood, the Vishaps will fall victim to various adverse effects. Perhaps they are not strong enough, but we cannot be sure. Indeed, according to our rationalized Vishap evolutionary roadmap, we should have already bred the strongest Vishap possible. So, let's see. So, like, if they've already bred the strongest Vishap possible, is that these, like, the weird ones that are the bosses underneath, whose names I can't remember because I only fought them the first night, and I haven't gone back to them again because I farmed what I needed to level up Shenhua. I'm gonna have to go back down there. Interesting. Warpaint Unicorn says, yep, that is what the Dragon Human Reborn is about. The rebirth of the old world dragons as humans. All right. If it is the rebirth of the old world dragons as humans, it holds it the Dragon Sovereign of Water. But this only says it would be the Dragon Sovereign of Water. It's not specific to all of them. It's only saying of water. Now, I mean, like, I feel like they would just say the Dragon Sovereign, not of water, but just the Dragon Sovereign, and will be born in human form, if they wanted it to speak of all of them being born in human form. Where it seems like the nuance of the writing here is specifically narrowing it down to just the water one. Now, what could be interesting is if this is a reference to all of them being done that way. The 7 dragons ruled the 7 nations, right? But still, like, this one specifically calls out the water sovereign. But maybe it's specific to this nation that fell under the water. And so they would be worried that that dragon sovereign would come back to, you know, would be reborn within Enkanomiya and destroy them, or you know, contest their own, you know, their own god, which was the god of time, apparently. Dvalin is most likely the Anemo Dragon Sovereign. His title is the erstwhile king. I mean, there are... Listen, we already have dragons of several different elements, right? We have Dvalin, Anemo Dragon. We had... well, we have Ajdaha, who is a geo-elemental dragon, at least by default. And then we... I don't know if I would necessarily... They call him, like, the Serpent Drake. So, I mean, but we don't know what element he necessarily represented. We've had lots of like hydro creatures, but I don't think those are considered dragons. So I think we've really only seen the 2 so far. And then there was also like the Thunderbird, but we don't have any good images of what that was like. I don't know. Artificial Void Dragon. He was the Primordial Dragon project, wasn't it? Durin. So that's interesting, right? Like, what if Durin was an artificial dragon, like Gold was trying to make Rebirth one of these dragon sovereigns, right? From the convention that's up above here. Like earth, water, fire, wind, ether, and void. These 6. But where's the 7th then? But if he is possibly void, that would be very interesting. Is Durin an artificial void dragon? That's an interesting question that I would like to try to see if I can dig up any other side info on. Artificial void dragon. Oh boy, I have a lot of research topics for this. This is going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Good thing I have next week off from work. Oh my god. Teyvat Astoria, when you go fight the 2 Vishaps, the info that shows up is Coral Defenders. And then underneath that says Baptismal Vishap Herd. Okay. Well, let's see. I don't know. It's hard to say if that's the most powerful Vishap that they could create or not then. Ajdaha was a special Geo rock spirit when Morax found it, wasn't it? Maybe he carved him in the image of a Geo sovereign. Maybe he is its reincarnation. It's also worth noting that the Exuvia of Rex Lapis was a dragon as well. But that's true. It did say that he carved him into the shape that he took. So he could have just carved him in the image of the Vishaps, which is also possible. The temptation, why Conria was destroyed. I do think that the temptation is why Conria was destroyed, but we don't know what that is. I think the temptation is probably creating life. I think that that's supposed to remain the realm of the gods, and they have alchemists just running around making people. Like it seems to me. And so I've pointed this out in the past. When Albedo first came out, you couldn't see his breath in Dragonspine. You couldn't see his breath at all. Later they patched it and you could see his breath. And I don't know when they patched that change, but now you can. But a character whose breath you cannot see is the Raiden Shogun. Whether or not that is something that will later be patched as well is unknown. But I do think it's very interesting in that, like we're establishing this idea where these artificial forms of life are different, where the ancient puppet technology that, A utilized to create the Raiden Shogun puppet is probably not Kemiya. It's probably not that. And for a while, I had a theory that I was cooking up about why those things could be the same. But at this point, like, we've learned too much. It's starting to, like, diverge. And I kind of dropped that theory idea. Now, I may still try to explore that to further prove that it's not the case, or to try and strengthen the case. We'll see as it continues. All right, next. The grafting can be considered a success. Void 907, Watatsumi Omakami Special Orders 3. We skipped one. The rejection originates from the Vishaps. The rejection originates from the Vishaps having been beings of the light realm, also known as elemental creatures, and thus being at odds with the human realm, of which Omakami and its choral vassals are a part. Interesting. So it's very interesting to me that these are all void. Like, they're trying to make void Vishaps, I guess. God dang it. Like, even this mention of the Dragon Sovereign of Water is still under the void category. Oh, man. And now it's like, this also has me wondering of, like, this whole idea of, like, the void. Oh, hey, we got a spammer in the chat. If one of my mods can hit that guy, that would be amazing. Raiden Shogun doesn't have breath. It's too unpredictable for eternity. Yeah, well, she doesn't. Okay. All experimental logs are closed. No experiment conducted here resulted in the death of any dragon heirs. They all lived to see the end of their days. Well, one could also say that their end of their days are whenever you killed them, if you killed them, but it does seem like that was not their game anyways. Praise be to Watatsumi Omakami, gracious and beneficent. Interesting. The gods of Teyvat. are of the human realm. This includes Zhongli. That's true. So far as we know, even you know, A expresses concerns about mortality. Zhongli spent no small amount of time focusing on how to keep himself the way he is, so that he is not the forgetful one. But I still feel like, even though he's the oldest of the remaining, he still has a very naive nature to him, despite all the time that he's dedicated to amassing knowledge and not eroding. It's crazy. Yeah. All right. So number 5, I think we established, was about. Well, God, let me just go up here in the chat. Jeez, I'm gonna have to scroll up in the chat a little more because I can't find it. If somebody can remind me which one book number 5 was. I can't even get back to it in the chat. I can't seem to find it. Once dropped my ice cream on the floor. My brother immediately said, "Good game, easy, no re," then accidentally dropped his. That's amazing. If that's true, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Beneath the Light. All right. All right. So we are on the last book in the Byakuyakoku collection now. Question 1. Zhongli called himself a dumbass during the Archon War. He did. He's on, I think, on a few occasions mentioned that he finds that his older self, or his younger self, I should say, was far less wise than he has become. And I think that's one of those interesting things about the puzzle box that Guizhong left behind for him, which was to say that, like, whenever she said that whenever he opened it, that he would have the collection, the totality of her knowledge. But I think it was kind of one of those things where maybe he was never really meant to open it at all. And, like, it was just one of those things where, like, in order to even get to the point where he can open it, he'll have learned so many things. It's not something that will be gifted to him immediately. It's rather something that will be slowly gained without him even realizing it. Maybe. But she was said to be something of a technical genius, so who knows? In the light beneath the shadow. All right. Let's see. Question 1. What walks on 4 feet in the early morning, 2 feet during the day, and 3 feet at night? Answer. A Vishap who transforms into a person to attend a ball, then breaks one of its legs and accidentally ends up walking with a cane. Okay. Interesting. It was not going where I thought it was going to go, but okay. The thing is the memory of dust weapon. Yes, it is. Okay. Sages like this answer the most. Or sages like this answer the most, and it is the children. Get it right almost exclusively. For adults, it always smells like a horrible conspiracy when a Vishap turns into a human. According to a prophecy of old, the Dragon of Water, the ancient lord of Vishaps will definitely descend in the form of a human. However, for children, the answer to the question indicates the possibility of mutual understanding. But it is not a good idea to make Vishaps sound adorable. Though such jokes defang the fear, they also lower the guard of the children. Dragonaires of the depths have evolved to wield the power of other elements and have hence lost their purity. As such, the Dragon of Water will no longer be born from among their ranks. Okay, so this is another mention of the Dragon Sovereign. And for it to say that the Dragon of Water will no longer be born from among their ranks, is that just again saying, like, the theory, like it's building towards the prophecy that it would be born human instead because they've lost their purity? Question 2. With only one mouth, this being sometimes has 4 feet, sometimes 2 feet, and sometimes 3 feet. Though unable to morph into other things, it is able to walk on the earth, swim in the water, and fly in the sky. The more feet it walks on, the feebler it grows. What is this answer? Answer, a human. Humans crawl on hands and feet as babies, walk on 2 legs as adults, and use a cane as elders. The answer is undoubtedly a human, and I suppose that makes sense. Like even within the confines of Genshin Impact, this makes sense, right? Again, as the explanation, babies crawling on all fours, humans on legs, Cain with as an elder, swim in the water is a thing you can do once you get older, fly in the sky within Genshin Impact. They have their gliders. Interesting. Ajax and Teucer were two warrior brothers in Greek myths. Oh yeah. I do remember reading something about that. I totally forgot about that. All right. Question 3. What talks with only one mouth but walks on 4 and 2 feet? Answer: someone raising livestock. Okay. This riddle is a very ancient one. In the past, we could only understand the meaning of livestock from reading texts. Four legs refers to four-legged animals like the ox, horse, and the forest boar. After Byakuyakoku fell into the ocean depths, these animals died out within 2 generations due to a lack of habitable land and food. Since the arrival of Watatsumi Omikami, some of us have returned to the sea's surface to build a home and interact with the people there. Therefore, we have been able to review the names of these animals. According to the vassal in the Omikami's prophecy, we shall all move back to the sea's surface someday, so it is important to get these names right. Ox means cattle, horse means horse, and forest boar means forest boar. Okay, well, that one's relatively straightforward. Question 4. Who are the 2 sisters who gave birth to each other every day? What? Okay, day and night or white night and ever night. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, day and night. This riddle is easy to understand. It alludes to the succession of day and night, which in Byakuyakoku means the cyclical white night and ever night under the control of the Danishi Mikoshi. Though the land was an everlasting night before the Danishi Mikoshi was built, the light of day that people had seen has remained unchanged. By the way, the 2 special astronomical phenomena of Byakuyakoku, the mirages and the sin shades, were the first indiscriminately referred to as eidolons, and seen as the 2 sides of the same coin. It was not until the arrival of Watatsumi Omikami that the people of Byakuyakoku were able to understand the 2 phenomenon and name them differently. Though the sun did not shine upon Byakuyakoku, the mirages that appeared in white nights were named Sunfire Phantasms, and those of Evernight, Ghostfire Phantasms. Interesting. As time went by, both of them came to be referred to as Sunfire Phantasms, for they are essentially the same thing. Okay, so this is again more mentions of the idea of the Sunfire Phantasms, which we've seen several references to even before this book now. Interesting, though. As time went by, both of them came to be referred to as Sunfire Phantasms, for they are essentially the same thing. Okay. Question number 5. I am the Sunborn of the Lord of Light. I am a wingless bird that rises from the earth to the sky. Those who shed tears in my presence feel no sorrow in their bosom. Away with the gentle breeze I fade, and thus ends my fleeting life. Answer. The answer is smoke. Birds are winged creatures, and it is normal that they are not seen in Enkanomiya, right? Most of the normal birds and beasts that did end up in Enkanomiya were killed off within a couple of generations, even, it said. So, and maybe no birds even would have fallen to it in the first place, because they could have just been airborne and avoided being brought there in the first place. Question 6. A father has 12 children, each of them giving birth to 60 daughters of different appearances. Of them, 30 are pale and 30 are dark. The whole family, knowing not death, will only fade away. Who is the father? Answer. The answer is the year. The people of Byakuyakoku may find the part about 60 pale or dark granddaughters a bit confusing, but everything will start to make sense once they crack question 4. There used to be a sequel to this riddle in ancient times. It roughly said that every granddaughter would give birth to 12 descendants. and each of them would have 60 children. Every such child later would give birth to another 60, who would go on to have children of their own. This would continue until, at last, all the offspring, together, give birth to the one and only primordial child, Tokyo Ukami, the mother of 14 billion years. Watatsumi Omikami forbade people from spreading this riddle. Very interesting. So this riddle was forbidden. Appendix of historical figures, their traditional names, and Narukami-style renderings. Kairos. Tokyo Okami. So Kairos. Okay, interesting. Eris. Erisu. Abrax. Abaraku. Charon. Ka. Spartacus. Supata. Emma. Koi. Antigonus. Antigonus. Erebos. Ereboshi. Or Eboshi. Echion Eki. Udeus. Uda. And Eclepius. It's Asclepius. There we go. And it's Sherepio. Interesting. 12 descendants means 12 months, 60 children. 30 dark and 30 light is 30 days, and 30 nights equal to 1 month. Makes sense. It does. It's, yeah, the periods of sun and moon, basically, according to certain theories, yes. So 14 billion years is roughly the age of our universe. Right. Again, another, like, interesting parallel to, like, even, like, our own world. I don't know how many of you guys are, like, into, like, astronomy stuff. I actually follow quite a good number of, like, astronomy-based YouTube channels. There's some really good ones out there. But yeah, 14 billion years is the proposed age of our own universe. Background radiation interference measurings. Why did that just come up? Wait, 14. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's how they've. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's how they've dated it. Although we got the whole James Webb thing here now, which may help to kind of reinforce that. So we'll see how all that works out in the near future. These are the names of the sin shades in the world for the most part. Yeah, they are. Interesting that the Tokyo Okami, Kairos. Was not Kairos also the one up towards the top here that they said was the god of time? Let's see. Is now okay. So here's this. The Tokyo. So let's see. To bring us plea to the king's priest, who was the incarnation of Tokyo Okami. So Kairos is the incarnation of the Tokyo Okami. The king's gardener and the spirit of the royal garden were in love, but the king wished to repair the beams of his pavilion, and so needed to cut down the tree. The king was the incarnation of the primordial one, and the gardener could not defy the sovereign of sovereigns. So he could only bring his plea to the king's priest, who was the incarnation of Tokyo Okami. The priest had pity on the gardener and said to him, "Go and cut the branches of the tree down," and he did. Afterwards, did as the king ordered, and cutting. Wait, I'm really confused though. So this almost seems like it's interchanging the role of the priest and the king, but that doesn't make sense. Oh, come on. Okay, so the king's gardener and the tree spirit of the royal garden were in love. The king wished to repair the beams of the pavilion, and so needed to cut down the tree with the most spiritual energy within it. The king was the incarnation of the primordial one, and the gardener could not defy the sovereign of sovereigns. And so he could only bring his plea to the king's priest, who was the incarnation of Tokyo Okami, who I believe is the god of time. The priest had pity on the gardener and said to him, "Go and cut the branches of the spirit tree down." The gardener did so, and afterwards did as the king ordered, cutting the spirit tree itself down. The priest said, "Plant the spirit tree's branches in the ground." Okay, so this was the priest's way around destroying the tree. Okay, that makes more sense. Plant the spirit's tree branches in the ground, but the gardener said, "A spirit tree shall take 500 years to grow." The priest said, "Your one thought shall echo through eternity." But what was the thought? And so the gardener planted the branches in his backyard. In an instant, the slim branches grow into a new tree, and the new tree spirit was a continuation of the past one. For it is the god of moments who is able to take seeds from this moment into the past and future. Interesting. So it seems like the god of time, Kairos, Istaroth, however we're naming this one, it has several names, like most of the gods seem to, was then helped him to avoid complete destruction of the spirit tree. Because he loved the spirit of that tree, I guess. But like he said, it would take 500 years to grow. But it's like what was the one thought that shall echo through eternity? That's a huge question. What was the one thought? This is going to require a lot more. I don't think we have enough information to even determine that yet. This is going to get really complicated for sure. So I've got some notes here that I want to go through. So I want to see if we can find physical evidence of the Narrows collapse on the map. I also want to see if I can go to the statue and confirm the scales down there for myself. So we're going to get into that. Also, the land of Enkanomiya floats because these lands used to float in the sky before the First War. Humanity used to live in the sky before Celestia took over. Where did you see that? I mean, that could be a deep dive kind of situation, but I don't know that I've seen anything that supports that. Is that theoretical, or is that confirmed by deeper analysis of this? Obviously, this is just my first take, so I don't know if I've gotten to that, but it could be possible. Maybe I'm just overlooking something. Hey TH, I wanted to know your opinion on how we are even reading these books. I rewatched part of your live stream, and we got the books right after the library quest in the mirror. So I think they're supposed to be the ones that are written in Byakuyakoku. I think the traveler can't read this text. I think he isn't leaving out the fact that he can read it, because he can't read some of the text on the Sun Children graves. I also don't think that the Abyss Lector would have just translated the text for him. You know, that's a good point. They did establish that we couldn't read that language. I do think there were some mentions that it would only be written in the ancient, like these things would only be written in the ancient language later, though. So it could be because we went through that mirror that we grabbed the books from a time when they were still written in like the Watatsuman language. Because we know that like Enkanomiya and Watatsumi became two different entities that kind of cross-pollinated to some degree still quite some time ago now. So there was a time where this could have occurred. So that would be my initial take on that. The one Sinshade mentioned they lived in the sky. Okay. Interesting. The Sunshade that said they lived in the sky. They lived in the sky. All right. I'll have to go and look for that. Lived in the sky. Do you remember the name of which one that was by chance? Otherwise, I'm sure I have a recording of it or something, but I'll have to dig through it to find it. We got them in a suspicious room through a mirror, didn't we? Yes, we did. And that room, like, it didn't even have a door. The library did not have a door when you went in there. It made it seem like that existed in a time in the past when you go through that. Names may decipher the time period. Tokyo Okami is the last period and close to Enkanomiya, Japanese wording. Kairos. Could it be another civilization period? Now this incarnation is Istaroth. Also possible. But we'll see. The Shades have very important dialogue. Yes, they do. That's why pretty much every time I encountered a Shade, I ended up recording it, because I was like, this seems really important. All right, so the Narrows, okay, it was like northwest, not southwest. I was like thinking of the map like kind of like this instead of like this. All right, so we're looking to see if there's signs of visible collapse. Now some of, oh my god, my watch is over here talking to me. Shut up, watch. Wait, so the mirror just lets you time travel? I mean, it looks like it. It seems like that mirror put you through time. Oh, hey, I've got one of those things over here somewhere. All right, come on, dude. We got one of those sigils that I haven't picked up yet. All right, let me go knock out this guy and then see if I can grab that sigil while I'm looking for signs of the collapse out here. I don't know that I got my cryo infusion on that the way I wanted it to. Nope, you can get that out of here. Nope. Oh, he dashed so far out of that. It's so annoying. Alright, well, it shouldn't be too big of a problem anyway. Yeah, I don't have my cryo infusion yet. Oh, I'm staggering, am I not? Oh yeah, he's just getting busted up anyway, so it doesn't really matter anymore at this point. Cool. I think the one shade that said both them and Mondstadt worshipped Kairos. Yeah, that does sound right. And for them to say that it worshipped Kairos and not Istaroth, like, that would make me think that they're the same and not necessarily iterations that took place from a different time. But it's certainly not impossible either. Oh, hey, there's a Sealy statue up here. Okay, well, I'm probably not going to make this now. But I'm going to try one more time. Okay, I did make it. Cool. Oh, I already got that one. All right, well, whatever. So it's got to be below me somewhere over here. I thought it was a pocket realm because it looks similar to entering the teapot, but it could just be them reusing assets. I usually would tend to err on them like reusing assets for something like that. Yep, there it is right there. It's underground. Oh, did I get it? I did get it. Okay, I thought maybe I missed it. All right, so I need to go. I'm still looking for more signs of this collapse. I do not want to fight those. Get away from me. It's just, I don't have any pyro characters. Go away. This party is not meant for killing those kind of things. Oh, that was close. All right, so we know that the buildings in this particular section are all messed up. Don't know her fate though, so the bridge, yeah. It is closer towards the bridge side, isn't it? Is it this one or this one though? You know, I may as well just go to this side and I'll come back around to it. Is just a Mario 64 painting, right? You just jump into it and you're just trapped in there for a little while until you find the star. Okay, got this up this mage here. Let's get this guy out here. Well, is it good that they can be the same people of different times? They call them other names though. Yeah, I mean, they could be the same people just from different, you know, times they were, you know, came to be known by different names. I mean, even Rex Lapis has Morax and all these other names. Like, he was Morax before he was Rex Lapis, I do believe. So, it's not unheard of for them to have lots of different names. And yet another spammer, man. Can we need another bomb on that spammer. I lurk in your streams occasionally. Have you noticed the Sealy homes in Enkanomiya are new or at least unruined? No. But that's very interesting. I will have to take a look at that, actually. Yeah, because most of the ones in Tavat are actually super busted up. They have like little broken chunks on them and stuff, don't they? Yeah, I will definitely have to take a look at that. Let me go down here and see. No, it's not this side. It must be the sheer side of this thing then. I thought it was closer to... I thought the statue thing was... Oh, I thought it was more like out here or something, but I might be thinking of... Oh, no, I'm not looking for the statue. I'm looking for signs of the collapse. That's what I'm looking for. And it said that it made the narrows far wider, is what it said. That was pointed out before the Sealy pedestals. Then I guess I didn't register it then. Everything in this game has 5 names. That's true. Oh, hey, look, a abyss or a freaking ruin guardian. Nah. Oh, he still hit me with that. Come on now. It's fine, whatever. I don't care. Here, be frozen, man.
Obey.
Alright, cool. He'll die fast enough now. Okay. Get wrecked, dude. Alright. Want to go back out to the edge of this platform because I'm looking to see if there's any like physical evidence of like the collapse. I mean, this section does have like more ruined structures on it than I would say most of the others. So that in and of itself could be an indication of that. And there are like loads of ruin guards in like an Enkanomiya. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of ruins tech here, which is to me a distinct indication that, you know, Conria had some impact on whatever happened here, because that's Conrian technology. I think I might see a Sealy pedestal right there, so I need to go up there and look at that. Untitled Astoria in Jean's Hobbies voice lines. She asked if we want to hear about the heroic king of Conria. The heroic king of Conria. You know, I don't know that I remember that voice line. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Oh, there's a fish shop down here. Are you sure this is new? I mean, I guess it might just be rough stone, I guess. It doesn't look broken though. No, it definitely, yeah, I would say that's a lot more complete. It definitely is. And I'm also noticing like the designs on the bottom, very much like the Sealy designs. All that stuff matches like the architecture here in Enkanomiya quite well, which is, you know, interesting as well. Interesting. Yikes. Yeah, I'm gonna need to go look at some of the other ones as well. Evidence that the Sealys were part of the Fane's rule. Interesting. Yeah, I suppose. I think I've been down here already. What is all this? Seagrass and some kind of Oach Pearl. The hell? Just switch it and I'll see if I can go in here. Archon Residue. I still tend to think that the Archon Residue situation is, you know, just one of the dead Archons. That was probably from one of these. Probably what that was, right? No, it wasn't. That was the seagrass. Okay, well, whatever. Going in here anyway. I feel like I've been in here before and that there's not going to be anything in here. Yeah, I definitely remember the snake statue. Okay, not a big deal. Let me go back out. I'm going to go look at Jean's Hobbies lines really quick, too, after I swap this back to the daytime. All right. You have Jean to see her voice line? I do. I have all the characters. You can't really do good lore diving if you don't have all the characters. And I have, you know, my Jean's been friendship. She was my first friendship level 10 character, actually. Okay, where you at, Jean? There she is. Nope, wrong. Profile, voiceover, hobbies. Let's see.
Maybe we can discuss the tales of legendary heroes. Have you heard the story of the heroic king of Kynria?
Oh, she says Conria weird. Kynria. Okay. Well, so there's a heroic tale of the king of Conria. Let's see. I want to see if there's going to end up being more of that. Heroic king of Conria tale. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any other indications of this. But who was it then? At Table Astoria, this was asked before. I saw a theory somewhere that said Guizhong found out about the origins of Celestia, like Orobashi, and Tu was sentenced to death. The box containing all her knowledge and gifted to Morax contained said truth, and that's why she told him to forget about it. What do you think? That is a possibility, because we've never been told why she died. We were just told that she did, or that she was killed, but not by who or how. So we don't know her true fate. True, we don't. I honestly, this whole like Archon residue idea is actually one of those things where like I tend to suspect that is her. But it also could just be the previous Dendro Archon as well. Those would be my leading two suspicions with regard to that. But yeah, it does seem like that could be the case. That Guizhong could have found out about the origins of Celestia. Here, I'm taking more notes here. There's just so much going on here. At Table Astoria Abaraku, one of his shades mentions the Skyland. When the Sky Kingdom crashed into the bottomless depths, the people were scourged by dragons, and thus did I. Yes, 'twas. Begin building the Helios to save us all from our fate. BP story of the humans in the sky confirmed. So it was Abaraku. One of his shades mentions the Skyland. When the Sky Kingdom crashed into the bottomless depths. When the Sky Kingdom crashed into the bottomless depths. Oh, very interesting as well. You know, this is one of those things that also kind of intrigues me, is that, you know, we still have a Sky Kingdom, right? It's Celestia, and it seems like it wasn't natural to the lands of Tavat. So there were all sorts of Sky Kingdoms that existed before. But also, has anybody noticed that, like, ever since 2.0, Celestia is now like at a weird like 30-degree angle. Like, it used to be straight, and now it's like this. And I don't know why. Like, what's going on that caused Celestia to be all freaking off center? Like, what's going on with that? It makes me wonder if there's like actual turbulence going on up there. Like, there are things happening up there that we're just not currently aware of, because they're not happening, you know, down here yet. Or maybe Danes has done something. Who knows? Or maybe Lumine has done something. Maybe her war against the thrones of Celestia has already begun. It's crazy. You know, maybe somebody is trying to drop Celestia in the same way. Is that what the, you know, penultimate ending for Celestia would be? That would be super cyclic, but also kind of poetic in a way, if they showed up and dropped the human kingdoms into basically what is hell, and then, you know, sat in the, you know, the thrones of the heavens all this time, and then they themselves are later dropped into hell. Would be really interesting. Left with the freaking Vishaps to deal for themselves. Pretty straight Mondstadt, isn't it? I think it's perspective based on positioning in the world. I mean, we can easily enough check that, but I want to say it was pretty crooked everywhere that I looked. But we'll check it right now, because it should be easy enough to determine that. But yes, I think the skybox working weird in Liyue. I mean, it's possible that that is the case. So I don't know. I'm here in Mondstadt, and that still looks kind of crooked. Maybe it's just more crooked in Liyue, but that's definitely not like flat. Like, that is definitely, if you look at it versus like the top of like Shenhua's like head here, you can see that it is definitely still leaning. That is definitely not like straight up and down anymore. For sure it is not. Now in Liyue, it does seem like it's more crooked, I think. But let me teleport over here really quick and get a good look at it from this side. Yeah, Liyue definitely shows to be more crooked. But I would also like to point out that it does appear to change perspective. So, you know, it may be the same level of crooked, but like you're rotating against this object that is crooked. So, you know, maybe it looks like this, you know, like this from here, but as you rotate to the other side, you know, it's actually, you know, sitting at like a different angle. So this level, this angle just appears different from the side, because here in Liyue, it seems narrower as well. So I don't know that I would be willing to say that that's just the skybox giving us a different perspective per se. It could just be that we're looking at you know, an object from different sides, and it actually is, you know, three-dimensional in the skybox, and we are rotating around it. Oh man, that makes me want to do like a test where like I run from one location to another and watch to see, you know, run from Liyue to Mondstadt at night and see like how it changes. But it would be really hard to do that based on the time. It might be easier if I, you know, took screenshots of it as I moved from south to north in phases, and then, you know, weaved them together almost as like a time lapse from different locations to see if it's piecing together a three-dimensional object that we're just rotating against, or if it's actually just being stretched by the skybox. That would be a good way for us to determine that. You saw somebody did something similar to determine its exact location on the map. Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting as well. But yeah, I mean, this thing, it looks way, way different from this side than it did in Liyue. So to me, like, it looks like it could still be, you know, like leaning like this, but we're seeing it from a more straight on angle. And then when we go to Liyue, we're way more south. So it could be, you know, relative to that, like south and west to get all the way over here. So that could explain why we're seeing it from a different vantage. Alice in Japanese would be Arisu. Yes. I actually read a whole thing about that recently. There's a theory that if you look at Celestia from Mondstadt, each patch, it gets closer and closer. I have noticed that it does appear larger versus when the game first came out. I feel like there is like that is an objective statement. Now that could just be, you know, artistic license, like they just wanted to make it bigger, or it could actually be that they are making they're building us up towards some kind of celestial event. So we'll see. What is it? Or just subscribe. I don't know what's talking about it, but I like that idea. I do need subs, and I'm going to be pushing out a promotion soon to kind of help encourage people to do that. So hopefully that will go well. More details on that in the near future as I finish up some details on that. Anyways, the Serpent's Heart. I do think the statue is down in this area, so I need to go look at that really quick. Let's see. There's more ruins creatures. Some of these flying guys around here. I thought it was down in this area, but maybe actually maybe it wasn't this area. No, I think that's part of it right there. So yeah, I think I am in the right spot. Okay. More ruins creatures. I want to say that the lantern only appears at night. Yeah, that's definitely, it does have a coral-like appearance. The snake does appear to have scales as well. Okay. So that is... Okay, so this would have to be Orobashi then. It can't be Ouroboros. Ouroboros should not have scales. So that would confirm that this is Orobashi. Or at least a humanoid depiction of what should be Orobashi. Why he's depicted in human form here, we can't say for sure. Now, you know, even the Vishap records were, you know, talking about the sovereigns coming back in human form. So, you know, this kind of further establishes the idea of, like, you know, like gods and creatures taking multiple forms and rebirth and all that stuff. But interesting. And then yeah, he holds that lantern, which actually I think has a Sealy in it at night, but I still haven't gotten. I should probably swap the day-night cycle and then go grab that. Actually, I'm gonna do that really quick. Let me just swap it really quick. Oh wow, I was at that statue today and didn't even saw the snake part. Yeah, the snake part to me was actually the first thing I noticed about it. I feel like I definitely didn't notice that it had the scales though, but I definitely noticed that it had, you know, the snake part at the bottom right away. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch for free. That's also true. Yeah, I'm gonna be making a push to see if I can get my Twitch to 100 subscribers here in the very near future, because that would be a massive get for me in terms of trying to do more giveaways, and it would enable me to do a great many things in that regard. So yeah, so we'll see how I can you know, work that. But I've got a big idea. Some of you guys who are in my TH members, because you're already long-term supporters, know what it is that I'm cooking up, but don't talk about it because, you know, I haven't unveiled what that is yet. All right, so there's the lantern that it holds that has the Sealy in it. So I need to get over there now, because I keep forgetting about that damn thing. Let me swap to Kazuha because he'll make sure that I don't miss it. Why can't it be someone? Klee doesn't really fit my persona. What are you talking about? This Klee is always causing chaos. Yeah, I guess I could see why you compared him to that. All right, let's get this Sealy finally. This one's been taunting me forever. But yeah, okay, so that is definitely Orobashi, though. That, I would say, is pretty much a confirmation that it's Orobashi. It's also interesting that he's depicted as, you know, like a lantern holder, like guiding the people of Enkanomiya to the light, like that idea. So, like, that is consistent with pretty much how he's written, how he's described. Consistent with, you know, the fact that he was forced to sacrifice himself. Celestia is messed up, yo. Like, there's a lot going on there that's all kinds of messed up. Oh, does being subbed on or to Twitch also give us the supporting members Discord channel? So Yes, I do want to actually add that to it. If your Twitch is connected to Discord, I can definitely make that work. So yes, and if any of you here are subscribed to me on Twitch and you are not on my supporting members Discord, like if you don't have access to that, please send me a direct message and I will rectify that at the earliest opportunity. At Teva Astoria, the gods can shapeshift. Venti and Zhongli do it. Why Orobashi can't? That is possible that he could.
Used to living in the mountains,
but we don't know, like the gods, as we know them, shapeshift, like they are the archons. We don't know necessarily whether or not that's like a gift of the archons that allows them to do that, or if that's just something all of them can do. I don't know that we've had any real indication that, like say for instance, that A has ever shapeshifted. But definitely Venti and Zhongli have had other forms. Now, we do know that, supposedly, like allegedly, there's this book that even A says is largely accurate, but then becomes kind of, I think she says wishful thinking or something, where it said that, you know, she sacrificed herself so that Mikoto could have, you know, she could become the Archon. And then later she resurrected her. Like it kind of almost made it seem as if she made you know, a body for her. But is that, you know, using some kind of similar magic, or was it, you know, was this a Enkanomiya based thing? I don't think it was, you know, like a puppet type situation, because, you know, later she had to forsake her human form to go to the plane of Euthymia, so that all got complicated really fast.
There's clearly a limit to the red.
From the back of her costume makes her look like a bird.
That's why
oh yeah, well I mean, are you talking about Shenhua, Laura Larry? She's meant to look like Cloud Retainer. So that was definitely like the entire like visual like concept of this character from the back. Okay, thanks Aether and everyone. Yeah, anyways, yeah, if you guys you know, subscribe to me over on Twitch, I will like add you to the TH members chat. You are supporters at that point. And like I said, I'm cooking up something to be able to do a Yae Miko giveaway, and I'm hoping to knock that out as soon as I get to completely finish and start teasing that. And like basically every few days, I'll be giving a little bit more until I'm ready to fully reveal it. But like I'm going to be trying to get my Twitch platform to 100 subscribers, which is a pretty meager number. I've got like 20 or 25 or something now, so I would only need like another 75, which I think is a pretty doable number. And that number, if I have those Twitch subscriptions, would guarantee that I can do an easy every 6 weeks new character banner giveaway. That's what the goal is for now. Like it will give me the overhead to do that. Hopefully I can continue to gain more subs above that. Because, you know, then I'll be able to do all sorts of extra stuff and actually maybe be able to transition into doing full-time content creation, which would be amazing because I would have so much more time. I'd be able to make so much more content if I could go full-time, but I just can't afford to do it right now. Only another 75. Sounds tough. I mean, it just kind of depends on how things go. But, you know, like a subscription is not super expensive or anything. So, and you know, like there are people on Twitch who have thousands of subscriptions. You know, like I feel like it's doable. It's doable. So we'll see. I have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know, almost. So, you know, maybe I can, you know, convince a decent amount to support the channel. I feel like I make good enough content. I feel that way anyway. Anyways, okay, so that said, I do have another video that's coming out soon, which started as just an Origins video, but it's kind of like a semi-Origins theory kind of situation now, which is interesting. At Teva Astoria, Xiao's true form is supposed to look like a bird, and Yae Miko is a fox, and Xiao friend appear in human form, but is statue of a bird. Also true. TH, when you gonna get the channel points set up? I have to really consider what exactly things I want to establish as points, Rev, but I do want to do it. You know, like I was taking suggestions from you guys earlier this week in the members chat as to what you might want me to do for those kind of things, but I'm still open to more suggestions because I don't know, like maybe a couple of them. Like I think the idea of like account reviews and stuff could be interesting. Obviously I've got more than enough experience and time in the game and experience in basically every character in the game, so like yeah, I can I could definitely do account reviews and stuff like that, which would be interesting. But there's also, you know, other things. So I'd be very open to suggestions. Team setup, use a certain character. Yeah, team setup I think is also an easy one. Obviously, it only applies for times like right now where I'm kind of just chilling and talking about, you know, lore stuff while I'm playing the game at the same time. Not every stream will have those specific options, like as a, you know, an easy go-to kind of scenario. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, I do think that those will work still. Where the hell is this sigil? There should be. Oh, it's probably in here, right? Is it not? Yes, it is. All right, nice. I knew it had to be around here somewhere. I thought that was just gonna smash for some reason, and then it didn't. Okay. Also, you know, I was mentioning in one of my recent streams that I was, you know, gonna be getting a capture card so I can, you know, do some streaming for some PS5 content in the near future, but I might have to do a little bit more equipment investment for that than I initially thought. So I'm hoping not. Man, it looks like that's going to be the case, and if that is the case, then I don't know that I can afford to do it by the time Horizon Forbidden West releases, because like I need to attain an entire new TV to do it. So yeah, that might make things a little bit more complicated right now. So we'll see. Right now, like, I don't really want to just be taking the TV out of my living room to bring up here into my my studio, because then my living room just has a big hole. You know, basically has an empty space on it where a TV used to be, and that will look really shitty. So I don't really want to do that. Yeah. Plus, you know, I'm not the only one in the house who uses the TV. My wife also uses it, and I don't want to, like, you know, steal that from there. That would be super inconsiderate. So yeah, I don't really want to do that either. So we'll see. I'm trying to work some of that stuff together too, because I really do want to, you know, stream some Horizon Forbidden West content and discuss that. But I also, you know, I have Lost Ark come out soon. I want to do some, you know, minor streaming for that and stuff as well. Heck, I've got all sorts of things that I want to get into. That feeling when the wife watches the stream on the living room TV. I don't think she... Actually, I think she has done that, but not usually. I think she usually just does it on her phone. Oh, how many of these are gonna wake up? Just 2? 3? Oh god. Okay, it's fine. Let me just get a little distance on these guys then for a minute, so I can be rocket dodging until they close up. All right, I need them to get a little closer. All right, come on, let's go. I want that chest. All right, well, I need that other one to shoot a rocket too. Come on. No. All right, cool. Well, I got these 2 together now. That's probably enough. Oh god, stop stepping on my face. All right, now I just need Kazuha. That should spread around all of the elements. Oh god, I am falling forever. All right, get up, Shenhua. All right, now they're all dead. We're good. Komi just kept me healed during the whole fall thing, so even though I was falling forever, I didn't take any damage, like, that mattered, so that still worked out. Yeah, like, Shenhua, you can just walk off like a boss, because that's pretty much how that whole entire interaction ended up going anyways. All right, let's go. Gonna main paladin. I like support tank healing roles in general. I actually did finally buy my, what is it, like the platinum pre-order or whatever it is for that this week. Because I had been holding off doing that, but I finally decided I was going to go ahead and do it. And honestly, like, the only thing that actually kind of finally caught my eye about, you know, confirming to do it, even though I've played the game in 2 other regions, was the fact that, you know, like I've mentioned before, that they took my class out, Arcana, from the US, or from, I should say, the NA release. So I wasn't sure what class I was even going to play. But then they also benched the summoner for some reason, and they put in this new class, Sorceress, which I think is really cool, or Sorcerer, or whatever it is. It looks really cool, so I'll probably play that. Final Fantasy 14 online? No. I've never been a Final Fantasy 14 guy. This Abyss Herald over here trying to sneak up on me. You can get out of here with that. He'll be in his shield form anytime now. I wish you could still kill these guys through without the shield form going up. It's such a pain. All right. Oh, nice. I do like that went ahead and triggered it went ahead and triggered my Wolf's Gravestone proc, so that, not that it might matter, but we'll see. What was that unlocked for over by the wall? That was kind of weird. I don't have that back yet. I need to wait on that. Alright, you can try and slash me, but okay, I'll pass on all that noise. Alright, be frozen again.
Take your true
Cool,
form.
you're gone. Alright, so what's going over here with this unlock? Okay, it's just a sigil point. Okay. There might be more. Yeah, there's a bunch in here. Alright, so I'm probably going to unlock like maybe another shade or something in here. I don't know. Because yeah, I haven't interacted with any of these. So let's do that, shall we? Already wailing in Genshin is too much. I mean, my thing about, well, honestly, it seems like compared to a lot of other MMOs, Lost Ark, at least from initial reviews, is saying that the NA version is far less aggressive than other regions have been. So that's pretty cool. We'll see though. I'm definitely not unaccustomed to MMOs that will bleed you at every opportunity though. Because I played at Black Desert for a long time, and that game will bleed you dry if you let it. I'm gonna have to mark this because I don't have a sigil to pick that up. That sucks. All right, so I'll have to keep hunting sigils to find the one I need for that. That one kind of looks like. Wait, how many different sigils are there? I'm now curious. Hang on. So I have 3 different types on hand right now. There appears to be here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is that consistent with the amount of different sigils? I'm just wondering with regard to you know, the elements basically that they were talking about, like your earth, wind, water, fire, void, and whatever the other one was. But that was 6. So if there's only 5 of these runes, then they have to depict something else. Because I was just noticing that this one definitely has like the look of like a wave or something. And then like this one could be, you know, maybe because it's a swirl, could be like interpreted as like wind or something. But I don't know if this one's easily interpreted as anything. I don't know. Rev asking what kind of tea am I drinking now. This is almost always, it's what's called a London fog. So it's, God. I think it's green tea with cream. So yeah, not super complicated tea or anything, but I like it. It has a nice like smoothing effect when you're talking for a long time, which is one of the reasons why I dig the London fog. It works for me. All right. Green tea gang, hell yeah. Let's see. Some people don't like green tea very much though, but it's never really bothered me. It does have a little bit of an aftertaste. Okay, so I found the statue. I found some sigils. Right now, I'm pretty much just cruising a little bit more Earl Grey with cream. That's what it is. It's Earl Grey. I do like green tea though. You're right. It's Earl Grey. Thank you, Beans. I appreciate that clarification. It is Earl Grey. I don't know why I forget that. Like, as a long-time fan of a specific genre of television and a specific show where there's a character who really likes Earl Grey. I don't know why I didn't remember that, but you know what? Whatever, man. All right, so there's still this one sigil out here. It'd be really cool if it's the one I needed, so I need to find that. Boba tea is best. Boba tea is amazing. I super love boba tea. And milk of your choice, usually with vanilla. What are we talking about? Let's see. I'm afraid you're afraid to drink it. That tea is so good. Sometimes I make it at home or buy it. Oh, the London fog. Yeah. So Starbucks is actually how I found out about the London fog. I did not know about it before that. It's probably this. Okay. I just happened to notice that random pile of rocks in the ground. So let's see if I can just smash that with a dive. Probably exactly what I have to do. Boba tea, gotta have the tapioca pearls. I agree, for sure. Have you tried some coffee tea with Bailey's? Would probably work with tea. So I'm not a coffee guy, and I also don't drink. Not to give you too much of a window into my family, but I will say that alcoholism is not a particularly rare trait in my family, so my approach to that was just don't. So yeah, that's you know, that's me. So I'm super boring at parties. I actually just don't usually go to them. So there's that too. Whatever. I prefer to have, like hangouts on my terms, less or oriented on that sort of thing. TH is a lightweight. Got him. I mean, I definitely would be, but that's because again, like I said, I definitely have people in my family who have had a long, like, lifetime of problems with it, and it's ruined way too many family occasions for me to take it lightly. So I just don't, because I know that addiction and alcoholism runs in my family, so I'd just rather not. You only drink for special occasions. I mean, that's probably for the best. That's how my parents ended up being, but for a long time that wasn't how they were. My brother, even some other people in my family as well. My grandmother is the worst. She is, oh god, still a problem. Still making my parents' life miserable with that, so, yeah. Let's see, good approach. I don't drink either. Yeah, I mean, it's also expensive for something that you consume and then it's forgotten afterwards. Like I have a, I definitely know people who spend a lot of time drinking and like they don't even remember it afterwards, and I'm just like, what was the point? I don't get it. I prefer to remember what happened. Like I prefer to be cognizant of all things that I do. Maybe it's just me. Like Xmas, I have eggnog with spiced rum, but eggnog only comes around during Xmas, so yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I actually really like eggnog, but obviously, again, because I don't drink, I don't add anything to it, but eggnog is pretty awesome. I agree. And the spear and the landscape in Enkanomiya are exactly the same as child weapons when he puts both together. Yeah, I have noticed that. That is definitely an interesting little add-on to the whole idea, because he was trained by somebody in the abyss after falling into the depths of the abyss. It makes it seem like he fell here. He learned Skirk was somebody probably here. But we just don't have a whole lot of extra information about that character yet. But bro, I love the nog. Eggnog is a pretty good thing. Oh, it was the one I needed. Nice. All right, so I can go over there and unlock that one little sigil thing that I couldn't unlock before. Nice. All right, let me go back up this wall here. Oh, I'm gonna have to go up the other way, aren't I? Unless it was here on the bottom, but I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it was up one more level. If you didn't know, what? Has eggs in it if you, oh, I mean, what? Yeah, I definitely did know that. All right, child is Ajax. Yes, child is Ajax. He has a couple of names, actually, but yeah. Ajax is the name of a Greek hero, so maybe there are some connections. Well, at least an inspiration of that. But here's the thing. Another one of those connections is also, like, a lot of the stuff here is, like, Greek relevance, like, it's Greek inspiration. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they chose to name child Ajax, and then also his, like, spear weapon is just, like, here. Like, obviously there's a reason for that. There's a noteworthy connection to that. There's got to be a reason for that. All right, well, I got those.
This is what the world
Ajax, let's see.
treasure.
Child knows Varka. I don't think he knows Varka. He does. He has a voice line about Varka saying that he'd love to challenge him though, but I don't think he knows Varka at all. I don't think they've met. I can actually show you that. Let's see. Voiceover. Let's see. Varka, right here.
Huh. Varka. Just the thought of one day going head-to-head with him in combat. The fabled knight of Boreas himself, titan of the knights of Favonius. It makes me buzz with excitement. It's a beautiful life we live in this world.
So, yeah, I don't think he knows Varka, but he definitely wants to challenge him at the very least.
It's been years since I last saw my master. I should hope the next we meet, I'll at least be able to force her to use both hands to beat me.
It's, I do like that one, because it definitely establishes clearly that his master is way stronger than him, and Child is canonically very powerful on his own. But again, like, I definitely think that Skirk has to be somebody here. She has to be somebody in Enkanomiya. Like, just based on, like, the description of how he was trained and all that, and, like, the fact that his weapon matches and all that, like, it has to be. There's no way that that is not intentional. Like, these weapons all have that cross point with the little diamond in the middle, which matches the ones that are, like, stabbed into the ground all over the place. There's no way that that wasn't an intentional visual correlation. There's no way they didn't do that intentionally. Spoken as a battle maniac would. Oh, for sure. All right. Definitely need to go find more stuff. The problem is that I'm not even sure which things I haven't explored that well. Honestly, I feel like maybe one of the places that I haven't explored that well might actually be the entrance, like, all the way back over here. So maybe I should just start at the end of this and work my way backwards. That actually might be one of the better ways to go. Or from the Ancient Kingdom in the sky. I guess that's also a possibility that those weapon designs could be based on the Kingdom of the Sky. But, you know, they continued to use them here, clearly. That's why they're everywhere. And he fell into the depths of the abyss, not into the sky. So that's what makes me think that it has to be at least more than probably is that as instead of the, you know, the ladder. If that makes sense. I feel like that sentence unraveled a little bit. Just a couple puzzles and chests, if I recall. Yeah, hey, man, I gotta get them at some point, right?
My will embodied.
I gotta, like, finish leveling up Chongyun's infusion ability so that it lasts a little longer when I pass out of it. Because, you know, like, even when it wears off on the ground, you'll keep it for a few seconds afterwards. So I gotta finish leveling that up so that it has its maximum duration. That will help with the cooldown issue a little bit. All right, I'm not seeing anything else in here, so let's keep pressing. I know that I've been back in here a couple of times, but I don't think I've been back here, like, really exploring outside of, like, the first day, and I was mostly just trying to get through as fast as I could so that I could get to the Vishap bosses so I could level up Shenpo. Because that was much more important to me than anything else at that point. Well, she don't have to be of Enkanomiya. Before Enkanomiya sink, it could be part of a bigger civilization, and that's true. But, I mean, the only thing that makes me wonder about that is just, like, okay, like, if she's still around today, right? Like, unless she's a very old entity, which, you know, also could be the case because, you know, there is said to be some form of time dilation between the Abyss and Tevat in the first place. I do think I've been in here and above here. Yeah, I do remember going up there, so I don't need to go up there again. Thing, Varka is gone on expedition with elite forces, but for what? None spoke of war with such Mondstadt. Yeah, so, they're, like, doing, like, border patrol or something like that, but, like, they didn't say against who. So I am still really not sure, like, what the whole purpose of that. Oh, I probably could back right away. Oh, well, rip.
Rash maneuver. Transfiguration.
Go away.
Take your true form.
Almost 40k now. That's good. All right, continuing. Let's see if I can find anything in this place. As I don't feel like I, you know, what is going on here? Did a wall just disappear? What the hell was that? That was really weird. I feel like there was a wall there and then it was just gone. There was a sparkly thing here, like there was something to loot, and then that was gone. I am so confused. I'm so confused. All right, well, whatever. Get some Songo pearls. I guess I'll grab those up while I'm here too. Why not? Oh, yeah, I can turn on the game sound just a little bit. It was still up from doing wind trace the other day. I forgot about that. All right, so yes, wall dissipated. Okay, I'm glad I'm not
a touch of frost
on something apparently.
as one with wind and cloud.
Why elite forces need for Grandmaster for border patrol? I don't really know.
Do your master's
Like,
bidding.
it seems like it would have to be for
Take your
something
true
serious,
form.
especially given, like, it's been a long time, right? Like, we've been in Tevat quite a while now. Like, I feel like our traveler has been active in Tevat for, you know, you'd have to think at least a year. to have gone through all the events that they've gone through at this point, and there's definitely lots of like little statements to imply that some time has passed. So like they were already gone when we got here, they're still gone now. I have no freaking clue. Oh, that's an illusion there, a wall, but if you go to the sparkle, it disappears. Okay, so we've established that there's illusion sparkle walls here. I did not know that. I was totally unaware of that. All right, continuing along. Trying to catch up here with some of the other parts of the chat that I may have overlooked. There might be more Sky Kingdom fragments in the abyss as well. Yeah, that's also something, I guess it is a distinct possibility, that, you know, there could be other parts of the Sky Kingdom here. Something I really hadn't taken the time to think about, but yeah, that is possible. That could even be a thing that we could end up seeing in, like, I don't know, domains or something even. Who knows? The domains do have somewhat similar architecture to Enkanomiya and Conrian structures, but it's interesting that, like, of the architecture in the game that we've seen thus far, I would say that whilst still different, the Conrian ruins above ground and the Enkanomiyan ruins are they're very close. They have a lot of similarities to each other. Just, I would say the Enkanomiyan ones are a little bit more embellished by comparison to the ones in the domains, which should be Conria, but I need to do a more full deep dive now that Conria is out, so that I can actually really quantify those more appropriately, because it is challenging a little bit of what I thought I knew about that. So I do want to continue to review a little bit more of that, but we do know that the above ground ruins and like Mondstadt and stuff like that, those are definitely Conrian ruins. They match all of the ruins from like depictions of Conria's destruction and stuff in trailers and other cutscenes and all that. So we do know that those are one-to-one. That's what they're supposed to be. Hey, some specters. I need those. Those are cryo specters, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay, let me... Wait, no, are those hydro specters? No, those look like cryo specters. Yeah, they got spikes on their heads. Let me get away from this for a second. I'm gonna swap my team up because this team is gonna be terrible at killing those. All right, let's go to Big Boom team. Oh nope, wrong character. Gotta swap that. Where is Xiangling? Where'd you go? There you are.
I'll bring my seasonings.
Told you, TH, there's a couple electro monuments in that first area. Oh yeah, I mean I got those a while ago, I thought.
Illusion shot.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I'm not inviting you to my world. All right.
Going in. Quiver.
Don't like all of you specters.
There is no escape.
You guys can just get out of here with your garbage. Just be dead now. I don't feel like fooling around with these things. I need their items, but I hate farming their items intentionally. I mostly just prefer to kill them when I find them, so I don't have to go deal with their crap. They always try to fly away from you, and you somehow never have the element that you need to knock them out right away, just on hand. And then we got these, like, that's the only group of pyro ones I've ever found, are the ones that exist behind this rock down here, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys have not found this group, but they're the only ones that I've found so far. At Table of Storia, to me, the timeline is Seven Dragon Lords Primordial One, Sealy, Second Throne coming to Celestia, Enkanomiya, Sync, Three Moon Sisters die, Archon Wars. It's definitely an interesting take for it. I'm not sure if I haven't even had time to fully compile the information enough to say whether I can even agree or disagree with that. Maybe a week from now or something, where I've had some more time to decompress that knowledge and also compare it to what we know from other aspects of the game. Let's see. Then I just counter their flying without Beto and tactical Uchi bombing. I mean, there's definitely that to it as well. But I tend to build like a new team like every other patch version and then just stick with that team for a little while. So there's that. Although, I get the feeling I'm going to be building yet another team, but we'll see in 2.5. Maybe 2 teams. It just depends. Obviously, my Raiden team will still be unaffected for the Spiral Abyss because it's not broken. I mean, it's broken. It's just not broken, if you follow. All right, love Ito. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a good character. Like, I need better equipment for him, and compared to a lot of my characters, like he's just woefully under-equipped. Because I've got him at triple eights, and he can't hang with characters like my Shogun and stuff. Like, he just doesn't get it done right now. Nor does my Goro. Both of them need more time. They need more attention for me to get them appropriately leveled up so that they can actually punch up. And because Husk of Opulent Dreams is a thing, my Albedo now needs work as well. Yeah. Yae is so close yet so far away. So, you know, I've got an interesting like team concept in my mind that like I may try to work with her that will with Yae Miko that will still involve Shogun. Maybe, but we'll see. I might be building a mono Electro team with her. I might just keep Sara and the Shogun together in that team and then just use them all together because I think that might be fun. But we'll see. It may not, like, who knows? It just kind of depends on what the synergy of the characters ends up being. Like, I can't even really say right now. But that's kind of like my initial thought. But until we know more about the character, I can't even say for sure that was right. Like, we don't even know what role Miko's going to be really meant to fill yet. Rikazuwa slaps making me regret not getting the Freedom Sworn when it came with Albedo. Yeah, Kazua's really good. He's really good. He's a character that, like, I was not excited for when he came out. And then, like, I got him and was like, oh my god, this dude's really good. And he has, like, really, really worked his way into so many of my team comps now that it's kind of ridiculous. I don't really need any of these rocks or anything. I'm not worried about these. Team Sara, Kokomi, Raiden, Yae Miko. Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be a thing for sure. Like as a mono team, although I think you would want a healer, right? You would probably want a healer, so Kokomi could be a good option for that. Plus, it gives you Electro Charge, which is just going to be spreading around otherwise an Electro reaction in a mono Electro team, which I think would be good. Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer is always a good option to continue to further boost that damage. So yeah, I do think that actually could be a really interesting team. Of course, you could do some other things with it as well, but I do think that actually probably would be what I would do, especially now that my Kokomi actually is leveled. It seems to be a thing that I definitely would need to do. Oh, this guy, he swam right into me. Mistakes were made. Definitely mistakes were made for this guy. He should not have swam directly into me. Just immediately got frozen. Yae Miko, I feel like she's going to steal all or Raiden's supports. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I feel like Yae Miko is probably going to be good. Like, I feel like they know, like MiHoYo knows they have to deliver a good character there. Like, there's no way she's not going to be good, right? But, like, I don't feel like Raiden Shogun's going to be second to anybody in terms of Electro production. She's so good. Like, my Raiden Shogun has time and time again proven to be my most crushingly damaging character. And I think that, like, you would need a very high investment, like, Miko to probably make that happen. Like, of course, this is speculative. We don't have the character, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I feel like Raiden Shogun's going to continue to be one of the best Electro producers. Whereas Miko will probably be this just, like, really good on-screen, like, damage producer when your Raiden's burst isn't up. Or maybe somebody who can help you produce more off-screen damage, maybe while Raiden is up doing damage, which would also be cool. So we'll see. Right, LOL, Raiden is only a DPS with C2. She's a support otherwise. Also true. But here's the thing. Mine is C4, so mine will continue to be used as a DPS. I don't think that a C2 plus Raiden will be second to any Electro producer in the game for a very, very, very long time, if ever. You know, like that. I feel like that was probably by design. Oh god, I'm not finding that much stuff in here. I was kind of hoping I would find a lot more stuff in here, but that has not happened yet. I just hope Yae Miko has some fast attacks and she isn't slow like Lisa. Yeah, Lisa is really slow. It's pretty painful. Touching official mains. LOL, Lisa mains. Yeah, those should probably not even exist, Lisa mains. Sorry to anybody who's a Lisa main in here. That character is not she just doesn't work great as a main. Like, compared to a lot of other characters, I would much sooner use Kutching as a main than Lisa for sure. In fact, I actually have really been wanting to rebuild another team around Kutching just for fun, just to play the character again, because I don't play her that much anymore, and I kind of miss playing her because her style is fun. Well, she is slow. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, Lisa's crazy slow. Like, her entire like kit just is really slow. It's kind of frustrating.
Swift and merciful. One with nature.
Nah, yeah, is 5-star Lisa. Yeah, I mean, you gotta hope that's not gonna be the case. You gotta hope that's not gonna be the case, but we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, like, I've said it a million times, the only thing I really care about 2.5 is like, oh man, I want her to be a catalyst, and I want her to come with a crit damage weapon, because if that happens, Mona's coming back. I'm gonna rebuild, or I'm gonna put some more attention into my Mona, and continue to kind of reaffirm like a party around her that I use on stream more frequently, because, you know, she's just a fun character to play. I've always loved cryo mages, and Mona's a mobile cryo mage, and she checks all my boxes for that. And that said, I actually did replace one of the artifacts on my Mona this week, which made her even better than she was before, which happens so infrequently, but it did happen. Let's see. I can actually go over to her really quick. I don't have a team built around the character at the moment, but I can definitely throw something together just as fast. Just throw together something with I usually would have Jean with Mona, but I don't know if that's necessary, but I'll do it again anyways. And then usually I have some pyro supports. I don't even really need Jean with Mona because of Bennett. So let me actually undo that. I'll go back.
Gonna be epic.
And then I need another pyro, usually Xiangling, for good off screen so I can vaporize easier. Where'd she go? I didn't used to use Xiangling for that, but she's so damn good at it now. And then I don't even know what I would want to fill for the last role. I mean, I guess just having a shield isn't the worst thing in the world, but having more off-screen production would be nice as well. So it's like one of those things where, like, yeah, I could throw like an Albedo into this or something, or I could throw a Venerer character in, but I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad. Raiden will help build bursts, which is nice. I don't know. I could even use freaking Sara to double buff if I really wanted to, but I feel like Shogun could also get that done just as well. She'll give me electro charges and more energy regeneration. I don't know. Like, off-screen damage production is still not going to be bad from... Oh, they didn't swap. I'll give that a go, but I haven't fully decided, like, what my new age, like, Mona team is going to be like. I feel like it's definitely going to have at least... I feel like it's going to definitely have Bennett, probably still Xiangling. But yeah, so with the newest update, like, she now finally got over 50% crit rate with 175.9 crit damage and 170.8 energy recharge, and this is on an attack weapon. So she's sitting in a pretty good spot here with 9.1 energy recharge here, 7% crit rate, 20% crit damage. 10% crit rate, 13.2 crit damage on this. Elemental Mastery is not bad to have because it does still boost Vaporize. 9.7, 11.7, and 10.1. For her actual onset Cryo Gob, which is one of my favorite items that I ever got. 6.2, 18.7, 11.0. I rolled 1 into defense, which was kind of annoying. And then I also have crit damage here, crit rate 14.0. Somebody asked, why don't I have her on Lost Prayer? I actually only recently got a Lost Prayers weapon, and I have not had the materials on hand to actually level it. But I probably will level it soon and do some comparative, like, testing to see which one I actually like more. So it's just one of those things I haven't built yet. Like I said, I only got it a few weeks ago, and I just haven't had the materials on hand to go ahead and invest in it. I'm either short on Mora, or I'm short on the items that I need to plug it. And I'm waiting to find out more about Yaemiko's weapon that's going to come out before I actually invest into yet another 5-star catalyst. So we'll see. Let me get out of here and go to a place that probably has some enemies that I can beat on, so you can kind of see what my Mona's working with. For those of you who haven't seen it, I do use my Mona generally as a primary, although having her with a Raiden isn't necessarily a bad backup either, just because you know that you know, Raiden will definitely clear anything that Mona can't. Not that my Mona usually has trouble clearing things. No, I was already over here earlier. I think the center area should have a lot of enemies. I like Lost Prayer. It's a cool weapon. I agree. I think it's a cool weapon. I like Skyward Atlas a lot just because it boosts her attack so much that it really does help her plug up a lot of damage. But obviously, Lost Prayer will also give her a lot of stability by just increasing crit rate quite a lot. So it's hard to go wrong with that too. Of course, the first thing I run into is a damn Hydro Abyss Mage right when I'm bringing out a Hydro main. Come on now. Not okay. Oh, okay, this guy's gonna have to die right away. Did you just die already? God. Alright. You're gone, man. Bye. Just go away. I only had to slash him once. Alright, so that was not ideal for this character as a showcase, because Hydro Abyss Mages are something that Mona can't kill. Well, I am a Geo supremacist, so I'll go with it. Yeah, I mean, listen, like, that's definitely a good role to have. Like, Geo teams are pretty nasty today anyways. Also, Inazuma units are power creeping 4-star units. Ayaka greater than Kaya, Yoimiya greater than Amber. I mean, Amber was always going to be easily power crept. Not to mention, Yoimiya is not even that good. Kokomi greater than Barbara, Ito greater than Noelle, Yaemiko greater than Lisa, question mark, Fischl, C6, and Raiden C0 are adjacent for support. Yeah, I suppose. Although, like, for people who just use Raiden Shogun in place of Fischl, man, that seems like underselling the Raiden Shogun. I know that you have to have her at C2 to really make her a DPS, but man, it does feel like underselling her so much. Okay, well, you die. Did that wear off? It did. Whatever. It's not really... Get the damn Vaporize. All these enemies are, like, sitting far away. It was so annoying. You know what? I can just go to, like, one of my classic areas for damage testing. Because I know where enemies are there, and I still don't know where crap is in Enkanomiya, and I actually need to get to bed soon. I'm just realizing, because this is getting late. Imagine having C6 Fischl. I've had her for a long time. And yeah, what is it? It's snowing Pusheen. I have also seen people make Raiden Shogun into a good DPS at C0. It's not impossible. She is definitely better at it at C2. But it is not impossible to do it at lower levels of investment. Did I already kill this crap today? I didn't even barely play the game today. How would I have killed this stuff today? No, okay. There they are. I was going to say, what the hell? Can you believe day one player like me only have C0 official and it's the free one? Wow. Yeah, that is surprising. That is definitely... Alright, here we go. Give me that official, or Bennett first, rather. Alright, you gotta not be doing that crap. I got through, got his shield on me, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, well, was hoping to get a Vaporize off on that, but whatever, that's fine too. Not that it really matters. Dude got shredded up anyways. And you know, obviously, like, some of the best things to do is, you know, build up combinations with Vaporize or off Stellaris, but she still punches anyways. Tell a story of the classical 4 field tillers. Oh man, you know, this team would definitely be able to kill the 4 field tillers for sure. Yeah, okay. I feel like they could get it done. I'll go over there and give that a shot. Why not? And then after that, I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream for the night because it, like I said, it's late. And I might have to work tomorrow. It really depends on what's going on with the weather right now, because I'm in the middle of like a a winter storm warning and it's supposed to snow, and I don't know what's gonna happen with work tomorrow because of that. So we'll see. It used to be like the old way of testing your team. It did used to be like the main way I would test my teams. And it's still a good spot, honestly. It's still a pretty good spot for testing a team. You just have to be calm and kind of set yourself into it. Mona's voice line about Venti is, yeah, Venti definitely was not kind to Mona for that voice line at all. All right. Seems like Venti didn't really want Mona digging into, you know, who he is and all of that, which is interesting because, like, you got to figure the Archons know the things that, you know, some other people have been killed for knowing. Harry, I've been using Bennett for a long time. Where you been, bud? It's been, yeah, for one, I feel like you haven't been around for a while, but yeah, I've been using Bennett for a long, ever since, like, since 2.0, so, well, 2.1, ever since Raiden Shogun came out. I'm gonna not get hit by those rockets, so I just went straight into those. All right, we'll be okay. All right, let's round them up over here now. Come on, enough with the friggin' rockets. God, so many rockets. All right. Actually, first thing I need to do is need to like wet status some more of these. Oh, cool! I got pinged into that. That was garbage. Poor Mona. Let me just heal her up. Now I don't even have Stellaris anymore. That was garbage. I probably should have been on frickin' Raiden so that I could actually judge the distances better. Oh, come on. All right, here we go. Well, I'll just distance nuke them then. Look at that. Give me that. It's fine. Just stack up a little extra damage on the side here, whatever, no big deal. This is not even gonna be a Mona thing. It's just gonna be me murdering them with my Raiden Shogun because I'm mad at them now. Obviously, I knew Raiden could carry these guys, but whatever. Raiden Shogun's just like, all right, I've had enough. You're gone. That was just annoying. Like, Mona's like terrible to try dodging rockets with. I remember why I hated going against those with Mona, because like her dash gets a little wonky when you're trying to dodge their rockets. Yeah, let me, did I get Stellaris back? I did. Okay. So I'll just go to a single one somewhere, which I know there's another one up here, and I'll just kill those. LOL, when you get bounced between 5 and half attacks and a character dies, it's really annoying. Rip Mona, for sure. Bennett is legit best character. He's definitely one of the best characters, for sure. He is definitely, like, arguably, like, the best support in the game, and has been a long time. You quit around 1.4 and only came back now? Oh, you've been gone a hot minute then, bud. But yeah, I mean, sadly, my Bennett is C6, so he can only be used for, you know, niche team options for, you know, supporting of characters who cannot be infused or are catalysts. But, yeah, he's around these days. I mean, that was the longest reason. That was the reason why I didn't use him for the longest time anyways, is because I had C6'd him, and then, like, that messed up everything.
Written in the stars.
All right, so let's see, 3, 2, 1.
Let's light it up.
That didn't hit very hard. I hate when that doesn't crit. That's really annoying. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just get vaporized to death, dude. You know, I feel like I really wanted that to hit a lot harder. One of these days, I'm gonna definitely get this Mona like back up and running again, though. Like, for real. Like, for a long time, she's just been kind of supporting my Ayaka Freeze comp, which is not the role that I ever wanted her to have. But she is still a meta character in that build, so I mean, I guess I shouldn't be unhappy about it. Oh wow, that almost ruined that, didn't it? No, it still did kind of ruin it. All right. I definitely kind of messed that up too. Oh, that was close. All right. I think I messed that up. I totally did mess that up, because now I'm going to get the wrong direction of the vaporize. Yeah, I keep messing it up. Well, whatever. All right, Raiden time. Bye. Don't even need to hit it again, because Raiden's just broken anyways. No tuna. What? What are we talking about? New enemies will change a lot of things. I think they always do. They definitely do. Do that all the time. It always makes me feel like I'm a bad player. What do you... Oh, yeah. Anyways, it's been a... It got seniored. It did get seniored. Anyways, I need to get out of here for the night, guys, because I do have to work probably tomorrow. And even if I don't, I need to continue to get work done on my next Origins video that I'm working on. So, in order to keep a steady progression on that, I need to get out of here for the night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the content and you enjoyed, you know, the review of the Enkanomiya books, subscribe. Support the channel by subscribing on Twitch, or, you know, just liking and subscribing over on YouTube is also super helpful. All of those things help for growth on both platforms, and I do appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back again tomorrow night. We're going to do probably the last round of Wind Trace tomorrow night. So, you know, back to more co-op things and hiding in plain sight and all that good stuff probably for a little while too, because it's just fun and chaotic. So expect that tomorrow. Thanks again for being here, guys, tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Eat the Paimon. Cake.
Astrologers must rid themselves of material desires. Only by
Aether's lame because he doesn't like cake.
see the true world around them.
Get wrecked.